expected to vote on those incentives later this month. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
In sports, the Dallas Mavericks have an opportunity to get their first win of the NBA Finals series with Boston tonight. The Celtics lead the Mavericks 3-0. Dallas at home with an opportunity to send it back to Boston. I'm Clayton Neville. Your next news update in 30 minutes. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected. DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP. Now on the FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, happy Friday. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. This is the Dolly Parton of radio shows because it is absolutely stacked today. On top of being Friday, there's a lot of important stuff going on in the news, a lot of fun stuff going on in the news, a lot of local stuff going on in the news. I'm going to be giving away Tucker Carlson tickets in about an hour and a half on Name That Artist, so I'll even bribe you to stick around. But let's do the important stuff first. We're going to start off the show today. My first guest is Dan Snell because, look, he's an expert on politics and leadership and things like that. We have a lot of Hollywood A-listers that are now doing what they normally do every 4 years, lining up behind the Democrat candidate. Will their support override what the American people see with this guy just doddering around, squinting, mumbling, trying to shake hands with people who aren't there? You know, the obvious mental decline. Can they overcome that with a couple of A-listers?
You know, it's interesting. This weekend, I know George Clooney and Julia Roberts, President Obama, and Jimmy Kimmel, they're going to have a big fundraiser in L.A. And throughout the history of, politics, John F. Kennedy had the Rat Pack. I think it was more influential because people were more awestruck or starstruck long ago. But I think today, and especially because of the media, sometimes Hollywood celebrities could get in trouble. I don't think it has the same impact as it had perhaps in JFK's time. But, it's interesting. Taylor Swift has a big following, and I say with a smile, President Trump was being pretty nice to her recently, and normally he's not nice to people that aren't supporting him. So I think it does have some impact, and that number could be sometimes in the 2 to 4 million voters, but I don't think it's as big as it once was.
Well, I think a lot of people on the right end of the spectrum, on Team Red, are far too dismissive about endorsements and what celebrities think, and these videos with just montages of it going through A-lister, musician. And I know you haven't heard of a lot of these people, but your kids have, and young voters have, and 20-somethings have, and it's got to have an effect on somebody.
You're absolutely right, James, and especially, going back to Taylor Swift, or even for that matter, The Rock. I know The Rock endorsed Biden in 2020, and he's come out recently and said, I will not endorse anyone this time. And so that causes people to pause. But the younger voters really can be a key, and we could see Generation Z and the millennials have a big and surprising impact when they go out, because I know there's unrest. They're not happy with the current status. Quite frankly, the ones I talk to don't always like the words and the behavior of President Trump. And so both candidates need to articulate, I think, getting back to what I always hope happens is that people pay attention, whether it's around the kitchen table or they really pay attention to what are the policies, how is it going to impact them 2 years, 4 years, or the country 10 years from now, and make a decision. But someone like Taylor Swift, I mean, surprisingly, I'm here in Kansas City. Her sweetheart is here, Travis Kelce, and she's well known and liked around here, but she has a following that's just incredible, and she can sway some people.
Right, and whether you like it or not, whether it's right or not, there are a lot of people who just don't follow politics that much. They don't watch the news. They don't watch Fox News or MSNBC. They don't read any news sites. They don't really keep up, so the majority of their political information may come from people like Taylor Swift.
Yeah, social media is very powerful. Someone like Oprah Winfrey, or we talked about the Rock, or there's various people out there that have a big following. And, in the Hollywood scene, Clint Eastwood, he has traditionally been a Republican, and who can forget his speech at the National Convention many years ago. If he comes out for someone, that's influence. Robert De Niro's come out there in New York, And it's interesting to follow these people and the words and what they say. It's still early, and I still say there's so much that can happen. We're still 5 months out. Anything could happen, including President Biden maybe doing his fireside chat, stepping down. So we got a whole new candidate. Anything could happen. It's a long run between now and Election Day in November.
Well, that step down sounds amazing, but the window of opportunity for that is just about close. I would think. I think the big wild card, Dan, might be what's going on with these ships in Russia. If they do anything, if they set off a bottle rocket, we have our generation's Cuban Missile Crisis.
Exactly. Perfect point, James. Like I said, things could happen whether it's in Ukraine or they're in Cuba or with the economy or another some kind of a pandemic or something. There's so many things that could happen that would only probably damage President Biden. And it's easy for any candidate to sit outside and say, well, I would do this if I was in office. It's tough being president of the United States. And you are susceptible to damage when tough things happen. And so whether Hollywood supports you or not, it doesn't matter. If I'm thinking about doing a practice run, hiding under a school desk in 1962 and 61 under the little small town David City, Nebraska school because of the Cuban Missile Crisis. So that's an excellent point you bring up. We'll see what happens here. And, I think that this is a very interesting election, and it's time for our country to really pay attention. Voters, your listeners, all of our friends, pay attention to the real, not just what they hear on social media or on the news, but pay attention. I wish the candidates would lay out specifically their 10 points, 5 points, whatever it is. Here's what I'm going to do specifically, and let people compare that, because that's more powerful.
Right. We're not having that discussion. I have no idea what either one of these guys really want to do, as far as it goes with the budget or tax reform or anything like that. This is one of the most shallow ad hominem campaign seasons we have ever seen, Dan Snell. Thank you for taking time to be on the James Show today.
Great to be with you, James. Have a great weekend.
All right. That's Dan Snell. I want to hear from you, though, because, the one theory that's been thrown at me by like 8 people since Wednesday is Joe Biden's obvious mental decline is incentivizing this stuff. You're seeing Russia act out. Not only are they invading Ukraine, they're now docking warships 90 miles from Florida and Havana. You saw Hamas get a little froggy and jump under Biden. You saw North Korea resume their favorite hobby of lobbing missiles over the Sea of Japan. Iran killing Americans, taking hostages, sponsoring these attacks. Now, come on. You mean to tell me Biden's mental decline isn't incentivizing some of that? You don't think some of the bad guys on the other side of the planet are thinking, dude, if I'm going to strike, now is the best time. This might be the best chance I have in my lifetime. Xi Jinping's probably looking at Taiwan saying, well, 4 years ago it would have been dumb, and if that guy gets reelected, then, it'll be dumb after that. I have a little narrow window to act. Is Biden's mental decline incentivizing this? And if you don't think he has a mental decline, explain yourself, because 95% of the country sees it. 800-288-9227. 800-288-WBAP. I'm James Parker. This is The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Coming up on Monday on the WBAP Morning News at 6:47, it's an election year. So what will that mean for the markets, and should investors be concerned?
And at 7:47, it is summertime, but a lot of people aren't taking those vacations. We'll tell you why.
I'm Ernie Brown.
I'm Carla Marion. Monty Cook has your traffic on the ones. Chief Meteorologist Brad Barton has your forecast. Steve Lamb with sports. And Nicole Osei has your news updates at the top and bottom of each hour, along with your money news. And Hal J keeps us laughing.
It's all on Monday's WBAP Morning News, 5 till 9 on News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Brought to you by the Law Office of Nick Namath.
The law offices of Nick Namath has helped thousands of people just like you get out of trouble with the IRS for over 20 years. They have experience serving both individuals and businesses in Dallas and Fort Worth. For help, call 972-484-0TAX or visit myirsteam.com.
Here's automotive expert and nationally syndicated talk show host, Jerry Reynolds.
The 4 DFW 5-star Ford dealerships are liquidating the remaining 2023 models. Only 203 2023 models are left out of over 2,800 new Fords at the 4 locations. And that means the first 203 bargain hunters are going to get the deal of a lifetime. Just make them an offer, but once they're gone, they're gone. Plus these amazing incentives: 2023 F-150s, 1.9 APR plus 1,000 cash, or 3.9% for 84 months plus 1,000 cash. 2003 Escape, Bronco Sport, and Explorer 0 for 60 plus 750 to 1,000 cash back. It's an all-out sellout of the 2023 Fords for those who hurry. So rush to 5-Star Ford in Carrollton, North Richland Hills, Louisville, or Dallas. Online at sampac.com.
Taking care of business. Louisville for HMS with a message for folks who are sick and tired of renting. Of the thousands of renters HMS has helped become homeowners, the vast majority thought they would not be able to own at this time. They were concerned about qualifying due to credit, higher interest rates, down payments, or just how to get started. With the help of our preferred lenders and builders, HMS has created a program that addresses these issues and offers solutions. How to go from renting to pride of ownership. Look, if you truly believe you want to get out of the rent race, the first step is simple. You pick up the phone and schedule your free, no obligation evaluation. Do it today, 972-392-9595, or go to the website, blessyourheart.com. That's 972-392-9595, 972-392-9595.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I am 87 years old, and I am an RN. My PhD work is in anatomy and physiology. I watched your advertisement on TV, and I thought I'll try it for just a month to see if it makes any difference. I have stayed on it. Just think it is a marvelous product.
Time's ticking. Make a splash into summer with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement while supplies last, with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Hurry, this week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this offer by using discount code DALLAS.
We had a couple of disabled vehicles clear up in Dallas County, but in Carrollton, you still have about a 5 to 10 minute delay unwinding. The disabled vehicle was moved at Beltline. Traffic still moving slow back from the Bush Turnpike. You also still have construction in McKinney. 75 southbound has the left lane closed down at Sam Rayburn. That's about a 5 to 10 minute delay. And there's reports of a new crash coming in Denton County, 114 eastbound at Trophy Club Drive. Expect to see extra congestion back around Alliance Gateway. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by Men's Edge Medical. Don't be fooled by gimmicks and promises of shockwave therapy treatment. Men's Edge Medical offers real solutions. If you suffer from ED and premature stamina, call Men's Edge Medical, 972-996-0900. You'll wish you called sooner.
This report is sponsored by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. For just $5 at Fuzzy's Taco Shop, you can get their new huge Cali-style steak taco, fully loaded with grilled steak and crispy fuzzy dusted fries, along with an equally large drink and a souvenir cup to wash it down. All for $5. Only for limited time.
Your money news at the top and bottom of each hour, weekdays. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. The question we're talking about today, has Biden's mental decline put the United States of America at risk? You know, we have a bunch of people popping off all of a sudden, and it's not a coincidence that in the last, 3-4 years, that all of a sudden Ukraine and Russia are at war, then Gaza and Israel are at war, and Iran has killed American citizens in the last year, and China's looking real froggy about Taiwan, and this is a lot of chaos going on for it to be a coincidence. How much of this, look, because a lot of people are putting this on Biden's mental decline. I say, hell, he doesn't even have to have a mental decline. He's so anti-America. They're so globalist on Team Blue that's enough. Even if this guy had all his marbles, this would be a much better time to strike than, in the 4 years under Trump before, or the 4 years of possible Trump that's coming up next. I mean, this is the donut hole of opening that I think a lot of bad guys have been waiting on. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Of course, the other side to that is, well, the American military can still deter bad actors no matter who's president. That's a pretty convincing argument, too. Paul and Prosper, what do you think? Paul, go ahead.
Great. Thank you. Right after October 7th, Iranian diplomats were heard saying that they've been planning that operation for 2 years. Well, if you backtrack from October 7th, 2 years is right after Afghanistan. After that debacle, the whole world knew how weak Biden was and how incompetent. And it's been getting worse ever since. Our military is great, but you have to use it properly. The Democrats have no concept of the use of force. And if you don't use your military, then there is no deterrence.
Well, what we have going on right now with that warship in Russia, if Trump was in office, or really anyone in Team Red, anyone not in the narrative, if anyone outside of their team was in office, this would be bigger than the Cuban Missile Crisis. This is bigger than the Cuban Missile Crisis, but it's not going to get a chapter in your kid's textbook.
Absolutely not. The world is so much more dangerous today since Biden took office than it was before. Again, they have no concept of deterrence, of the use of force, or how to protect America. All you have, they can't even close the borders and keep them from streaming in.
Yeah, okay, but what's your response to someone who's listening and they think, yeah, but you're a Trumper, you're just saying anything you can to push people away from Biden and make your guy look better?
Look, I'm just stating the facts here. It's pretty simple. I know someone who was high up in the military when Afghanistan went down. Only one person resigned and retired from the military over that debacle. Everyone else lied to the country, saying, "Oh yes, we gave President Biden that advice." That's not true. Biden told them what to do against their advice, and here we are.
Fair enough. Paul, Prosper, thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right, if you want to be after Paul, 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227, 800-288-9227. I think a better pushback against the people who would say, listen, you're just anti-Biden and you're saying whatever you think will help you win the election in November. I would like to point out that zero people were talking about Biden's demented when he was running for president in 2008. And then after he didn't make it through the primary process, Obama picked him as the VP. He had to go through debates. He had to go through press conferences. He had to go through all kinds of questioning and town halls. And no one was questioning whether or not he was demented in 2008. So all of these complaints against Biden, I mean, there was plenty of complaints to be had. He lied about his academic background. He plagiarized a bunch of speeches. There's a bunch of ugly stuff there, but dementia was not on that list in 2008, nor was it when they ran for re-election in 2012. No one was talking about how he was demented. It came up when he showed back up on the scene in 2020. And you remember Trump trying to hammer him in the debates, and they canceled one of the debates just to try and, hide the crazy uncle as long as they could out of the public eye. But now, look, it's not hidden. I didn't talk about this so much when it happened because so he froze at the Juneteenth concert. They're standing around, they're listening to this soul music. And this is the video that you've probably seen on your Facebook feed or Twitter feed or whatever. Everyone in the whole scene is moving. I mean, there's dozens of people, and Biden's in the front and the middle, just frozen. And for a little while, he has his elbows bent like he's an action figure you just stop playing with. And then he raised his hand and he kind of touched his chin awkwardly. And then the dude next to him did a fist bump. So he did the fist and the guy bumped him and he was like, yeah. And he opened his hand back up and he's just smiling like he's drying out his veneers. There's no real emotion there. His eyes are just like the animatronic shark in Jaws. The lights are not on. And that's okay. I'm not making fun of him. I have a soft spot in some of the ways I look at this, because I have often said that a mumbling, stumbling, bumbling free market capitalist who loves the Constitution would be a better president than a young, hip, sharp guy who likes socialism. But you can take that too far. The damage that he's going to actively do is minimized, possibly because he is so mentally slow. But the incentives just from the View, just from that video, there are people on the other side of the planet that hate America and are waiting for their opening, and they're waiting for their strike, and they've already got people here because they ran them over the border. Like, when do you hit the button? When do you say red team go? Is this guy? Is he inviting that? Because, maybe it looks like you would be more likely to do it. You would want to do it under this guy versus a Trump or a Ronald Reagan, who, when he got tested, he came back with the iron fist and hammered some people. But part of me thinks that this kind of shows the system works. Listen, there's about 30% of the audience right now that doesn't agree with you politically, and they hate Trump. They think he's awful. They think he's Hitler. I don't know if they just like to hate listen, or even if they disagree with me, they like to be informed or see what the other side is saying. For all you people who hated Trump, half the country told me that this guy's terrible and horrible and the worst, and the world's going to go to hell in a handbasket, and World War III and economic collapse and Sodom and Gomorrah and cats and dogs living together under Trump. And then the other half of the country tells me when they call in or send me emails or Facebook messages that Biden's going to destroy this country. And it looks like their system's pretty robust. It looks like one of y'all's wrong and one of y'all's right. But whichever one of you is right, we've already seen the worst person possible that's going to destroy the country and destroy the economy and send us into World War III. We just went through 4 years of both sides' accusation on that. Maybe the system's a little more robust than we give it credit for. Maybe if you're on the other side and you're a mullah, you're like, Joe Biden is running into walls like a Roomba, but the American military could still kick us and turn us into glass in about 6 hours if we step out of line. I think that might be the lesson here. I think the American military still has the ability to deter bad actors somewhat. They didn't have the ability to stop Ukraine and Russia and Gaza and Israel, but this whole Cuban Missile Crisis, the idea that someone would strike us, how long can the American military might hold that at bay? Like, how demented of a president can we get and not have a problem with that? I don't like testing that theory. Coming up next, an internet viral video legend, Blonde Kamala, will be on the James Show. If you want to jump in and have a conversation, 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The Wilhite Law Firm handles accident cases differently. If you're injured, we'll drive to your home. We'll return every call and keep you updated. We win big for our clients. Texas-sized settlements big. Get your free case review at willhitewins.com.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Hi, Brad Barton for Red Mountain Weight Loss. I think summertime may be the best time to lose weight. You're not only looking and feeling better, you're a little cooler, and your clothes fit looser, too. You want to jumpstart your weight loss plan? Please visit one of the Red Mountain Weight Loss Centers in North Texas. They have their own semaglutide approved by the FDA for weight loss in a dissolvable tablet you take just once a day, and it's about half the price of Ozempic. It's called Revelex. But let's start today. Visit redmountainweightloss.com or just dial pound 250 and say Red Mountain Weight Loss. That's pound 250, keyword Red Mountain Weight Loss. Hi, I'm Brad Barton. Do you want the fastest way to know what your home would sell for? Reach out to Dan Harker and Empower Home Team. Simply text your address to 800-763-3000. 800-763-3000. That's 800-763-3000.
This is Victor McClure, the president of McClure Capital, and for decades, the host of the Common Sense Investing Show. In appreciation to all the listeners, I want to offer you a free copy of my very first book, The Common Sense Investing Guide to Retirement. This is your definitive guide to everything retirement. I put my 30-plus years as a retirement planner into one book. If you're within 20 years of retirement or currently retired, this book is the most informative guide you'll ever own. How do you get the most out of Social Security? How to properly plan for taxes, inflation, healthcare. How to get the most out of your Medicare. How to allocate your assets before and during retirement. There is a difference. How to avoid the single biggest threat to retirement. Believe it or not, it's not inflation or taxes. Most importantly, how to guarantee you'll achieve the retirement of your dreams and to make sure it lasts for the rest of your life. Call for a free copy at 972-715-2424. That's 972-715-2424, or go to ilovemyretirement.com.
Buford, what are these IRS notices?
Karen, don't worry about those. Just put them on my dresser.
You hid this from me? They're saying we owe the IRS what?
Honey, I can handle this.
Buford, I'm going to...
Hi, I'm Randy Martin at IRSprob.com. We help good people with IRS problems. If you're receiving IRS notices like Buford, you need to give me a call right now.
Wait, who are you?
A friend, Karen. At IRSprob.com, we protected thousands of families from the IRS and negotiate settlements, oftentimes for less than the original amount owed.
Hey, Randy, can you help us?
Absolutely, Buford. But you need to call for an appointment right now at 214-214-3000. That number again is 214-214-3000.
We're calling now. Thanks, Randy.
IRSprob.com is here to help. Check out our 5-star reviews. Call us today at 214-214-3000. Again, 214-214-3000.
Are you ready for a new job? Let Express Employment Professionals help you. Express is your one connection for a summer job in a variety of industries. Job seekers never pay a fee at Express. Go to expresspros.com to find your location. That's expresspros.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Growing demands surrounding the Tarrant County Jail. I'm Clayton Neville from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We're still dealing with a crash in Trophy Club on eastbound 114 at Trophy Club Drive. Traffic stop and go back from Alliance Gateway. And you also still have some construction in McKinney, 75 southbound. Left lane closed down at the Sam Rayburn Tollway. Give yourself about 5 to 10 extra minutes to get through the work zone. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. With new Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
We're going to be sunny, hot, and humid today with a high near 95. It'll feel like 99 in the humidity. Light southeast winds only 5 to 10 miles an hour. Low tonight 74, real muggy. Will be mostly sunny, breezy, and hot tomorrow with a high of 94. 94 on Sunday with stronger southeast winds up 25 miles per hour. And with more Gulf moisture and a few clouds around, we're looking at highs in the lower 90s, but no rain Monday and Tuesday. Highs in the lower 90s and very humid. From the WBAP Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brad Barton.
Arrested in Fort Worth, one of the Texas 10 most wanted criminal illegal immigrants. We go to the newsroom.
Texas troopers report 38-year-old Victor Hugo Gonzalez Show booked into the Tarrant County Jail, wanted on charges of aggravated sex assault and indecency with a child in Arlington. Officials say the Mexican immigrant has ties to Tarrant County and was convicted in 2016 of driving while intoxicated with a child under the age of 15 and assault with bodily injury. You can find information about the new Texas Criminal Undocumented Immigrants Top 10 on the Department of Public Safety website. Kimberly James, WBAP News.
Let's stay in the newsroom because there is growing demand to release the full video of Anthony Johnson Jr. after his death was ruled to be a homicide in Tarrant County.
Only about 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the 9-minute cell phone video that was filmed by Lieutenant Joe Garcia has been released. The video shows the altercation that Anthony Johnson Jr. has with jailers that resulted in his death last April. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office stated that they won't release the video because it's against their standards to release any images of unresponsive or deceased individuals. Sheriff Bill Wayborn fired Rafael Moreno and his supervisor, Lieutenant Joe Garcia, about 3.5 weeks after Johnson's death, only to reinstate them because civil service rules weren't properly followed. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
I'm Clayton Neville. Your next news update in 30 minutes. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP, now on the FM at 93.3.
I'd love to see this headline tomorrow on the Dallas Morning News. The opera ain't over until the fat lady sings. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. That was the headline in the paper back in 1976. When Texas Tech Sports Information Director Ralph Carpenter was following the Southwest Conference basketball tournament, where Texas A&M rallied for a 72-72 tie late in the finals. Somebody asked Ralph, "This is going to be a tight one after all, right?" Ralph said, "The opera ain't over until the fat lady sings." Well, the opera around here is the NBA Finals, where the Mavericks are down 3-0 against the Boston Celtics. Dallas has to win tonight at the American Airlines Center, or that fat lady is singing. Boston would love to sweep the series, despite the Mavericks being right there in the last 2 games, but coming up short. If they can survive tonight, it's back to Beantown for Game 5 that would be Monday. Lose, and the magic carpet ride is over. And since I mentioned the Aggies, their baseball team is up at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, where their first game in the tournament is tomorrow night against Florida. It's your Friday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by the Law Office of Nick Namath.
The law offices of Nick Namath has helped thousands of people just like you get out of trouble with the IRS for over 20 years. They have experience serving both individuals and businesses in Dallas and Fort Worth. For help, call 972-484-0TAX or visit myiRsteam.com.
This report is sponsored by Audible. Get immersed in new worlds and ideas with Audible. Explore an incredible selection of audiobooks, podcasts, and originals, all in one easy app. There's more to imagine when you listen. Sign up for a free trial at audible.com.
Thank you for listening today to News Talk 820 WBAP and now WBAP FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday. Reminder, in 1 hour, I'm going to be giving away tickets to see Tucker Carlson. He's going to be at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth with his opener, Roseanne Barr. And what timeline? Did we fall through a wormhole into another dimension, or is Roseanne Barr opening for Tucker Carlson? I did not have that on my bingo card for 2024. We're being joined right now, though, by an internet viral video legend, the great blonde Kamala El-Sakurt, back on the show. Mrs. Vice President, by the way, this is all a parody, so don't at me. But welcome back to the show, Mrs. Vice President.
Well, thank you. It was great to be back here again. I just love being here with you. Thank you.
I didn't say anything funny. Did you say a joke, Garrett? What is she laughing at? Okay, so let's do some serious stuff first, though, before we get into all the stuff that you could actually laugh at. There's something serious going on in the Gulf of Havana right now. We have Russian warships that decided they were going to dock in Cuba, 90 miles from Florida. We now have Russian missiles. That sounds like the Cuban Missile Crisis all over again. What are y'all doing about it at the White House?
Well, listen, here's the thing, okay? To your point, Joe, as we know, is as sharp as can be. And you know that between us, we have got this situation well in hand. There is nothing to be concerned about from our perspective as we watch what's happening and we assess the things that are going on over there, and just know that we are taking care of things, okay, much better than Donald Trump would have ever done, right?
Well, yeah, but what are you doing? Like, are you pointing missiles back at them? Are you firing warning shots? Are you ordering a bunch of pizzas to be delivered to their apartment? What are you doing?
Well, listen, those are great questions, okay, that need to be asked and they need to be answered. And the way that we do that is we analyze the situation, okay, and we make those assessments, right? And then we take the actions that we need to take, okay?
I have no idea what any of that means. Moving right along, Juneteenth is coming up. We're just a few days away. Do you have any big Juneteenth plans? Or let's just start with this. What does Juneteenth mean to you, Kamala Harris?
Well, listen, this is a really significant and special acknowledgement of something that is significant to a large body of people, okay, in this country affected by all of the things that have affected us over the years, okay, over the decades. And what we need to do now is celebrate, okay, and you know that I love to celebrate. We are dancing and we are celebrating and just enjoying ourselves, right?
I saw you enjoying yourself at the Juneteenth concert y'all had last weekend, but the president was frozen right next to you. What happened there? Was he like having a diaper fill moment, or why did he freeze? Do you have an explanation?
Right, right. Well, listen, so here's the thing. Joe was dancing in his head, right?
Oh, okay.
Inside his head, and he was just feeling the groove and getting down to the music, just like all of us were, right?
Not at all. You're married to a white guy. Do you allow him to celebrate Juneteenth?
Well, Douglas and I, we celebrate a lot of things together, right?
That is such a white name. His name's Douglas. That's like third on the list behind like Rusty and Cody.
I tell you, Douglas is as white can be. So, I spice it up for him,
Well, I don't think you have, because he had no dance moves either. Unlike Joe, he wasn't frozen. He was attempting to dance, and it looked awful. It looked like one of those little weeble wobbles on your dashboard. But look, parties aside, like, have you been getting ready for Joe to just drop dead at any minute? Not that I wish that on Joe or any president or anybody, but it looks like this guy, is in his twilight years. You have to, be planning for that.
Well, listen, full stop. And as I have said, and will continue to say many times, that the thing is, Joe is as sharp as he's sharp like. Well, listen, his sharpness, okay, is something people of all walks and age and abilities aspire to at one time or another in the course of their lived experience, right? And that's exactly why Joe is still the guy for the job, okay?
I have no idea what you said. I am kind of intrigued that, though, your husband, Douglas, would be the first husband. Is that what it'd be? Or first man? What would you call him?
I would call him my first guy, right? Because I am hip with the kids and the lingo, and and this is going to be a cooler time for us, because let's not forget who I am, right? I am the mamala, okay, of this country, right?
Oh, right, mamala. God, that's awful. All right, one more question. When you and Doug, your white husband, if y'all get in a fight, when y'all make up, does that count as reparations?
Well, that is pretty funny, okay? And Douglas, when I tell him when I tell him about this, he will be laughing at this as well. Douglas, laugh. He's laughing too.
All right, this is fantastic. This is the blonde Kamala. Her real name's Elsa Kurt. Coming up next, after the break, we'll talk to Elsa Kurt, not blonde Kamala anymore, the woman behind the comedic genius and the voice that you just heard. And we'll ask her, because she has her own little podcast and hot sports opinions about what's going on. We'll talk to her next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The lessons in life that he taught me. My father can fix anything. He was just a great person, and I think about him often.
Daddy, can you see me?
He's everything a man could be.
Daddy, can you hear the words I say?
Pancakes on Saturday mornings and deer hunting during hunting season.
That's why he's great.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Is your timeshare suffocating you? Are you feeling powerless because you were sold a bad investment that is nothing like you were promised? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. If you're ready to get rid of that timeshare, I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free, exposing the timeshare industry scams with all your options for cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
When life spells heartburn, how do you spell relief? ROLAIDS.
What about when life spells fried chicken?
ROLAIDS.
Fourth cup of coffee?
Still ROLAIDS.
Extra cheesy pizza?
Rolaids always spells relief. Rolaids' powerful dual-active formula begins neutralizing acid on contact to fight your heartburn fast. So, when life spells heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
If you are a male over 30 and your endurance and stamina are not what they used to be, you aren't alone. Maybe you've tried Cialis, Viagra, and Levitra, but you don't like the side effects and how they make you feel. Then you are no different than thousands of Metroplex men who have turned to Men's Edge for more than 15 years. Here is patient counselor Raul Garza.
So many men come to us with ED or premature stamina due to the side effects from medications they take. Even sinus medications and chewing tobacco can affect your performance. Many of our patients are also recovering from prostate cancer. We specialize in a custom solution just for you in a safe, comfortable environment, and you will see results on your first visit. Ask for me, Raul, when you call. I'm here to help you.
You will love the folks at Men's Edge Medical, and you will be so happy you finally made that call. Start feeling like a young man today, no matter your age. Men's Edge Medical is located at Alpha and Preston at their new easy-to-get-to location. Get your edge back with Men's Edge. 972-996-0900. 972-996-0900.
This is Victor McClure from the Common Sense Investing Radio Show. In my 30-plus years as a financial advisor, I've never seen higher income payouts than right now. For years, I could invest in an annuity for 10 years. The payout would be about $100,000 a year per million. That's about 10% of what I put it in. And that's income for me and my spouse as long as we live. Now, I'm getting up to $150,000 per million over the same deferring 10 years. Just to get that 10% is only taking 3 or 4 years now. These higher interest rates we have temporarily are causing these historically high annuity payouts. As soon as they start lowering interest rates, annuity payouts will also decrease. Think about it. Up to 15% guaranteed. In other words, every million gives me $150,000 a year in joint life income. My heirs still get the balance if something happens to me. Call us and we'll give you the exact guaranteed income amounts based on your situation. Call 972-960-8700. Again, 972-960-8700. Or go to ilovemyretirement.com.
A huge lakefront grand opening is taking place on Saturday, June 22nd on Bodark Lake, Texas's first new lake in over 30 years. For the first time ever, you can buy one of these new lakefronts directly from the developer starting at only $99.9. Yes, you can own a lakefront home site on Texas's most talked about lake for under $100,000. Located 60 miles north of Dallas, this incredible property boasts 3 miles of gorgeous shoreline, sweeping lake views, a multi-million-dollar clubhouse, lakefront pool, fitness center, on-site marina, walking trails, and so much more. Call now to get more info or to secure a spot at the grand opening of 5 Points. And maybe you can take home a lakefront on the most coveted lake in Texas right now. All properties will be released and sold on a first-come, first-choice basis on Saturday, June 22nd. So call now, 800-675-1800. Beautiful Bodark Lake from only $99.9. Call 800-675-1800. 800-675-1800. 800-675-1800.
We're dealing with a new crash in Arlington, southbound 360, just after I-30. It's blocking the left lane. Traffic stacking up back at Post and Paddock. You're looking at about a 10 to 15 minute delay. And we still have that 5 to 10 minute construction slowdown in McKinney. 75 southbound has the left lane closed down at Sam Rayburn. Your stop and go as you approach the work zone. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by CarsForKids.org.
CarsForKids.org, the best vehicle donation program that takes kids from surviving to thriving. Donate your old vehicle to CarsForKids.org. It's so easy and pickup is free. Plus, you'll receive a $50 Visa gift card. CarsForKids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, welcome back to the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Continuing with the James Show is Elsa Kurt. She was her alter ego, Blonde Kamala, in the last segment. Well, we're going to talk to the woman behind the voice in this segment. Welcome to the show, Elsa.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here as me.
Right. And after banging my head on the wall talking to your alter ego for the next segment, I think we're going to enjoy this one a lot more because your answers to the same question are pretty much what we're going to go through. Like, what your reaction to Russia coming into Cuba? Because the one thing that keeps being thrown at me from listeners is Putin saw that guy freeze at the Juneteenth concert last weekend and was like, send in the ships.
Right. Well, I mean, there's been incident after incident of exactly that. Him freezing, him just absolutely, wandering around his little poopy pants dance. Pardon me, audience, for being crass there. But, it's just, who wouldn't look at that and say, wow, the lights are on, but no one's home. It's time to wreak some havoc here. So, yeah, I mean, he's just doing a great job. But this whole administration is doing a great job of setting us up for attack, for failure, for everything. So, yeah, it's bad. It's bad.
Yeah, it's kind of bad. So when you see
it's kind of bad.
Look, you got some new grandbabies. My kids are well out of the diaper phase. Do you recognize the toddler squat there?
I do, and I think that was probably it. Didn't they try to flag that as like false news or as fake news or something, that wasn't the case? They tried to say, oh, no, it wasn't that at all. I mean, they do that every time.
Sure, like as if an ABC reporter went and stuck his finger down at the backside just to make sure there's nothing coming up the crack. You know how you do with the kids?
Right.
You do the dipstick
exactly.
test? Or the
check, yeah.
The brave parents do, at least. So Kamala Harris may have to step up as president. Are you ready for that? I mean, the real Kamala Harris may have to step up as president. That would just catapult you into the spotlight.
Yeah, I mean, if people aren't scared already, they should be. They should be. And, I get asked so many times, like, what are you going to do if, hopefully the word is when they're out of office, they're done, she's done. And I always say, like, the same thing everybody else is going to do, which is celebrate. I am very happy to retire that persona if that means, we get a better administration in there. But we should be very scared of the prospect of a Kamala Harris presidency. I mean, anyone who says that they're not has got to be either stupid or lying. So,
well, let me take the hyper optimistic approach. What if the rest of the world has seen us with a human Roomba that just runs around bumping into walls, not knowing where he's going, for a president, and they'll decide to sort of act out in their neighborhood, like Russia will invade Ukraine or Gaza will attack Israel or Iran might kill some of our sailors or airmen that are in Jordan. But they still haven't attacked us. There's been no real existential or mortal threat to anyone in the homeland. Does the system just work? Does the American military scare off people so bad that there's a limit to what they'll do, even if we have an imbecile in office?
Yeah, there was a point I probably would have said yes, absolutely. These days, with enrollments down, with our resources being depleted by being sent everywhere else, it's a good question. It's a scary question, really, because I definitely don't know the answer to that. I would like for them to be too. That's an understatement, right? And a pretty blanket one. We all would like them to be terrified to even consider the prospect of attacking us. But this administration has weakened us quite a bit. Our military, what we have, our brave men and women are amazing and incredible. And I would, no disservice or disrespect to them in any way. This is a knock at the administration for, how vulnerable they are making us.
Well, Elsa Kurt, you are much more pleasant to talk to than your alter ego, blonde Kamala. Tell the guy listening how he can find you outside of my show.
Absolutely. The easiest way is elsakurt.com. I'm Elsa Kurt official on pretty much all the platforms, and I apologize to everyone for making your ears bleed with that Kamala cackle.
Right. Yeah, and find her on YouTube. That's where she's super there, in TikTok, super famous there. And you don't have to comment to me on her appearance. Do you get a lot of comments on your appearance, Elsa? I imagine your DMs are probably a show.
I never look at them. I'm a happily married woman, so I never even open them, never even look. So if they are, the people that despise me and hate everything about me are more than enough to keep me humble.
Right. And gentlemen, you are awful human beings when it comes to beautiful women on the internet. Like on my Instagram feed, there's a bunch of pictures of from like way like 10 years ago. And then there's one picture that has like 6 likes. The next picture is my wife's in a bathing suit. 192 likes. The picture after that, 4 likes. It's like, I know what you're doing. Anyway, this got to be bad for Elsa Kurt too. Also, I want to tell you about this S1 Global. The distinguished guests, WBAP and KLIF, if we got to go pick them up at the airport or whatnot, sometimes we started using S1 Global. And what that is, it's sort of like an Uber, but for the next level. If you want to get a black car, if you want to get a town car, if you want to get a limousine, if you want to get more than someone's air freshened up, gladed Toyota, this is who you call. This is who the pros call. S1 Global. It's not just a local thing. They're in 450 cities nationwide, and it's just the stylish passenger app, S1 Global. Go to s1global.net or look for it in your app store. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Donovan Lewis. It's the swan song to the Mavs season. Should we even bother watching tonight? That's coming up next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
A secure retirement just doesn't happen by accident. When that day comes, what's most important to you? Are you sure to have more money than month? What about unexpected medical costs? Do you want to leave something to the kids or the grandkids? I'm Jeff Jr. from Trajan Wealth, and I want you to know we specialize in these questions and can help make your retirement dream a reality with some of the highest guarantees in the business. Imagine getting up to a guaranteed 12% growth on your retirement income and up to a 30% bonus up front just for opening an account. If you have funds sitting idle in an old 401k or IRA, consider guaranteeing it to secure the peace of mind you deserve. Don't leave your financial security to chance. Take advantage of the highest guarantees I've seen in my career. Call Trajan today at 469-579-3500. That's 469-579-3500. Or visit us online at TrajanWealth.com.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Do not listen to that tricky little voice inside of your head that says, I can't do this. This is impossible.
Yeah, all right.
I can do it. I know you can do it. And it's been over 6 years for me since I lost almost 50 pounds thanks to soda weight loss. It works, and it's all natural. I want you to get ready to rock that bathing suit this summer and get to it. And if you're looking for proof, I am the proof! Soda's at-home program is available wherever you are. Home, work, on the go. Nutritionist coaching support and real help 100% over the phone. And you can check out the more than 8,700 Google reviews and thousands of amazing before and after pictures. Go to sodaweightloss.com, SOTA weightloss.com. That's SOTA weightloss.com. And see for yourself. Soda Weight Loss is, say it with me now, state-of-the-art. Soda, state-of-the-art weight loss.
Hi, Brad Barton here with real-life stories from real people who picked up the phone and called Dan Harker and Empower Home Team with Keller Williams Realty to go to work for them. Recently, Dan Harker and Empower Home Team sold Larry and Stephanie's home for 100% of asking price, but before it even hit the market. Larry and Stephanie were absolutely amazed at the process and the fact that Dan already had the buyers, over 13,900 buyers in his exclusive database. Larry and Stephanie couldn't believe how stress-free the transaction was, and they encouraged anyone who's selling their home to call Empower Home Team. They said, if you want to sell, then call Dan Harker because he has exactly what you need, buyers. So take it from Larry, Stephanie, and me. Don't settle for just any realtor when you can hire the team that sells a home every 2 hours. Call Dan Harker at Empower Home Team today. Call 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD, or visit HarkerHasTheBuyers.com. That's HarkerHasTheBuyers.com.
When you're hot or cold or the water doesn't flow, think
Airco Air Conditioning, Heating, and Plumbing has been locally owned for nearly 35 years and has thousands of 5-star ratings. Fast, friendly service with no extra fees for nights or weekends. And right now, save big on a new air conditioning system with up to $5,400 in rebates and utility incentives. Call 877-ITS-AIRCO or schedule at airco.com.
Airco, we bring comfort home.
GiveMeTheVin.com salutes champions. American basketball coach Phil Jackson won a record-setting 10th NBA championship as the Los Angeles Lakers defeated the Orlando Magic on this day in 2009. Also on this day, 10 years later, Gimme the Vin bought a 2019 BMW M5 California Special on the eve of the Toronto Raptors beating Golden State in the NBA Finals.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Every story eventually comes to an end. This June, hear the final episode of Season 2 of the hit podcast series In the Red Clay, Durham. In the Red Clay tells the unbelievable true story of Billy Sunday Burt, the most dangerous man in Georgia history. In the podcast that people are calling riveting, incredibly moving, captivating, and addicting. Binge seasons 1 and 2 of In the Red Clay now, wherever you listen.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station.
Trending now.
The search for a bank robber in Tarrant County. I'm Clayton Neville from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have 3 new crashes on 635, starting in Mesquite, northbound 635 at Oates. You have one causing a jam back from Town East Boulevard. Give yourself about 5 extra minutes there. This one's actually a disabled vehicle in Garland, eastbound 635 at Garland Road. Right lane blocked here. You're backed up there from Jupiter Road. And westbound 635, you have a crash in the right lane at 35E. That's about a 5 to 10 minute delay from Webb Chapel. And we had the crash clear up in Arlington, southbound 360, just a little bit after I-30. Still about a 10-minute jam unwinding from Riverside Parkway. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox, got 'em. Visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
High pressure from the southwest, which produced record heat in Las Vegas, is expanding into Texas, and that means hot and humid, rain-free weather through at least Tuesday, but 2 tropical waves in the Gulf may produce a few scattered showers and storms by midweek. In the meantime, sunny, hot, and 95 today. It'll feel like 99 with the humidity. Light southeast winds, low tonight 75. Will be mostly sunny, breezy, and hot. 94 tomorrow. 94 with gusty southeast winds on Sunday. And then highs with more clouds and more Gulf humidity, probably 92 or 93 Monday and Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brad Barton from the WBAP Weather Center.
Right now, flirting with a heat index of close to 100 degrees. American Airlines flight attendants willing to go on strike if they can't reach a deal with the Fort Worth-based airline.
On Thursday, the Flight Attendants Union was joined by workers from other airlines at its picket at DFW Airport. Flight attendants are asking for higher wages and better work roles and haven't had a pay raise since before the pandemic. Last week, the labor union that represents the flight attendants rejected a contract proposal that would have immediately given them a 17% pay increase. Instead, the labor union opened a strike command center and told members to prepare to walk off the job. American Airlines stated that reaching a deal with its flight attendants remains a top priority and that the airline will keep negotiating until they reach an agreement. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
The FBI Dallas office asking for the public's help today to identify the suspect in a June 6th bank robbery in Fort Worth. The robbery happened at the First Convenience Bank branch inside the Walmart off Anderson Boulevard. Authorities say the suspect walked to the bank teller counter with a small child and a shopping cart, showed a note to the teller, demanded cash, and after getting the money, the suspect pushed the child and shopping cart toward the exit, then ran from the store with the child. The man, described as white, 35 to 45 years old, 5'7 to 5'9", with a thin build. Anyone with any information on that crime asked to contact police. And a new safety system may eliminate airport runway collisions.
Honeywell International has revived its work on a system to warn pilots if another aircraft is on the same runway. Safety experts are worried about a recent increase in close calls between planes at the nation's airports. One of the ideas to increase safety is outfitting planes with systems that alert pilots directly if they're on the path of a possible collision. Currently, pilots rely on air traffic controllers to alert them, while safety experts believe an automatic cockpit warning might save microseconds and prevent a disaster. Mike Traina, WBAP News.
In sports, the Mavericks try to avoid elimination tonight. Boston in town for the second game of a 2-game stretch here. They would head back to Boston if Dallas wins. If not, Boston will get the series 4-0. They lead going into the game 3-0. I'm Clayton Neville. Your next update in 30 minutes. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected. DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP, now on the FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome. This is The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Well, unless the greatest miracle in basketball history happens over the next few days, your Dallas Mavericks are going to finish as the second best team in the NBA. You can't be upset about that. As disappointed as I am that they're facing a sweep, still a good, hard to complain. Welcome back. This is Donovan Lewis on The James Show from our sister station, The Ticket. I'm starting to let the hurt die down a little bit and just be appreciative for what we had, Donovan.
Frustrating, irritating, all those words you can use to describe what's happening in the finals. But what a magical run we've had, because no one expected this team to be in this point right now in the NBA finals. So you hopefully they can avoid getting swept. They have a really good game tonight. Take it to Boston, but history's not on their side. But I think that's probably should be the mindset of every single Mavs fan out there that just appreciates the run that they've gone on, because these things, as we all know, they don't come around too often. It's been 13 years since they've been in the finals. It's been a long time. So appreciate it when it happens.
Well, I think a lot of people that listen to WBAP as opposed to The Ticket are in my situation where we love sports. We just don't keep up with it as much as we used to. And when we were kids, we watched Larry Bird and Michael Jordan and Kobe and whoever else. We just can't keep up with it now. We got a career, we got a family, we got a whole other life to live. And now when we come back to basketball, there's some things that have changed in the last generation or so. And the number one thing that sticks out to me is the obscenely high scores. The scores are up by like 20 points since, the 90s in my heyday of paying attention to basketball. What happened with that? Because I'm not sure I like that. I'm not sure that's good for the game.
Well, offense kind of gets eyeballs on the product. And when we think about the golden era in the 90s and all that, man, the final score was in the 70s, and sometimes those things were hard to watch. It's all we had, but it's kind of hard to watch. Imagine a basketball game now where the score is 81-75. We may get nostalgic a bit, but no, it's not how, people want to watch basketball right now. And then plus you kind of add analytics to the situation where they say it's just worth either taking a really close shot layup right by the basket or a three-point shot. So analytics kind of did that also, but then the NBA figured offense sells the product, and it gets eyeballs on it. So they wanted to kind of increase the scoring, and I don't blame them for that.
Well, that's crazy, because even if you have an 80-80 game, there were 160 points there. Someone made somewhere between 60 to 70, 75 baskets.
Yeah, but it was kind of hard to watch in the 90s when you really think about it. If you can think about it and you have time, NBA TV a lot of times, well, especially during this time, they'll play some of those finals games from the 90s or something like that. I would challenge you to go watch one of those, and you'll go, whew, okay, man, it was kind of a slog fest out there as they're just letting them kind of beat each other up and not for calling fouls or anything like that. So I get it, and I'm kind of nostalgic also because I'm around that same age. But, man, the product may just be a bit better. Although the players, I think, in our day may have been better, the overall product right now with the way the offense is going may be a bit better for this generation and how they don't want to see any defensive struggles out there. They want to see the ball go in the basket.
Well, the other thing, as a sports novice, who I love basketball, just hadn't kept up with it. Now that I come back to the sport and watch it more because the Mavericks have been successful, what happened to traveling? We don't call that anymore, Donovan?
Oh, yeah, no, that's one of those things that I don't think will ever get fixed because you have traveling, you have carrying the ball, palming the ball. It's a lot because these offensive guys are just trying to make these moves. And, yeah, It always surprises me when it gets called. It has to be really egregious to be called. But yeah, it's not traveling's kind of gone away here recently here in the NBA.
Yeah, well, that doesn't feel right because I remember being in 8th grade playing in a basketball league, getting called for things that I see on the court regularly. It's hang on. You hold 8th grade church league to a higher standard than the NBA? That just doesn't seem right.
And that game is really fast now, too. You know, we really think it's easy because we think we see what we see. But, man, the game is really fast out there for 3 guys trying to see if they can see everything that's happening with 10 guys kind of slugging it out. So, while I'm not making any excuses for them, it's a fast game. And sometimes you go, my gosh, I can't believe they didn't see that. You know what? Maybe they didn't see that because it's a really, really fast game now.
Right.
With really good, strong athletes.
And we have the benefit of different camera angles and slow-mo, and certainly he dribbled under that. Because I see them slow-mo and a lot of people cupping under and dribbling under it. So, yeah, there's a lot of that, but it would also it's worth pointing out that the refs haven't been much of a storyline at all in the postseason, so it's hard to complain about them.
Especially in the finals, they've you kind of worry about themselves. They're making themselves a part of the show. And while Game 3, they let them play a lot in Game 3. They swallowed those whistles. Not a lot of free throws being shot. It felt like toward the end of Game 3, they had a couple of ticky-tack fouls that went against Dallas that felt like, okay, you've been letting them play the whole entire game, and now you want to call this? So that's probably the only time I've ever heard the referees being questioned in this series. Now, the playoffs in general, yeah, you had some people really, really complaining about the refs, but not finals. They've been pretty good.
Well, somebody at the ticket has to have a communications channel with the NBA more significant than mine. Can we start the rumor about a 4-point line coming to the NBA? I think that would be a good addition.
They have it in that Big 3 league. That's the summer league that Ice Cube started.
The Ice Cube league has a 4-point line?
Shot. They have a 4-point shot. Yeah, it's not a line. They have a particular area on the court where if you stand there and make it, it's 4-pointers. I don't think that's ever going to come to the NBA. But if it did, there would be a lot of people out there practicing at that 4-point line, and you'll see them pulling up from 32, 33 feet, which seems ridiculous right now, but I just don't think they'll ever do that, man. I don't think that's going to happen.
But think about the fantasy scenario it creates. You could be down by 7 points with 10 seconds left, and a win is still possible with 4 points.
You'll be in it. You'll definitely be in it if they had a line like that.
All right, tell them where they can find you outside the James Show, Donovan.
Oh, man, we're on the ticket 10 to 1 every single day, Monday through Friday. And if you have Twitter, I'm at Great Donovan, and we have some fun there, and we're going to have some fun seeing if this Mavs can stave off elimination here.
All right, thanks, Donnie Doo, for being on the James Show.
My pleasure, man.
800-288-9227. It's hard to complain. I know it's all over but the crying, but it's really hard to complain about the awesome season that the Mavericks just had. I'm James Parker. This is the James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
Get the WBAP app to listen to WBAP free on your mobile phone. Open the App Store icon on your phone's home screen. Search WBAP. Click the download arrow, then open. You'll be asked a couple of questions. Click Allow to receive WBAP breaking news, traffic, and weather text alerts. Click the play button at the lower right and enjoy News Talk 820, WBAP, and 93.3 FM free.
James Parker here for Leaf Home. That's the company that makes Leaf Filter, and that's the product that keeps all the junk out of your gutter, everything but the water. And it's so easy to do. Look, you could go out and you could maybe find some other cheaper do-it-yourself job, but then you still have to get up on the ladder. What if you don't get it right? What if it's not properly sealed? What if it's not properly leveled? Don't do that. Call Leaf Filter, leaffilter.com/WBAP. You're going to get a deal anyway. You're going to get a big discount. Someone's going to come out and do it for you. Someone's going to come out. They'll do all the measurements. They'll give you the estimate. You give them the thumbs up. They'll seal everything, make sure it works perfect. And then when they leave, they don't forget about you. They leave you a lifetime guarantee when they go. leaffilter.com/WBAP. Why do you do the /WBAP? That's where the secret discount is. Not that it's a secret. I'm saying it on the radio, but that's where you get 20% off. If you're a senior or military, you get another 10% off. You might get a whole 30% off. WBAP is the secret, though. leaffilter.com ramp.com/WBAP.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Here's automotive expert and nationally syndicated talk show host, Jerry Reynolds.
The four DFW 5-star Ford dealerships are liquidating the remaining 2023 models. Only 203 2023 models are left out of over 2,800 new Fords at the four locations. And that means the first 203 bargain hunters are going to get the deal of a lifetime. Just make them an offer, but once they're gone, they're gone. Plus these amazing incentives: 2023 F-150s, 1.9 APR plus 1,000 cash, or 3.9% for 84 months plus 1,000 cash. 2003 Escape, Bronco Sport, and Explorer 0 for 60 plus 750 to 1,000 cash back. It's an all-out sellout of the 2023 Fords for those who hurry. So rush to 5-star Ford in Carrollton, North Richland Hills, Louisville, or Dallas. Online at sampac.com.
Taking care of business.
Hey, neighbor, I saw your license plate. Welcome to Texas.
Thanks. I'm going to need a bigger mower for this lawn. Seems like everything's bigger here.
It sure is.
And we're saving up for a big pool.
Well, then you're going to need a high-yield savings account with EECU. It has a rate of 4.25% APY with no minimum balance and no monthly fees.
4.25%? That is big.
Yep. We've done our banking with EECU for years, and we added a high-yield savings account just last week. It was fast and easy to open online. Just call 800-808-4220 or go to eecu.org/earn more and open your account in under 5 minutes.
Wow. What'd you call them? EECU?
Yeah, that's right. They've been helping Texans grow their savings for over 85 years. You can't go wrong with EECU and a 4.25% APY. Plus, you can take your money out anytime you need it.
Huh, thanks for the tip. You don't know any good fishing spots, do you?
Federally insured by NCUA. APY is annual percentage yield. All funds must be from an external source. Membership requirements and terms and conditions apply. Visit eecu.org/earn more for details.
Still dealing with a couple of issues on 635. You have a disabled vehicle on the eastbound side at Garland Road blocking the right lane. That's causing about a 15 to 20 minute jam back from Forest Lane. And on westbound 635, there's a crash in the right lane at 35E. That's about a 5 to 10 minute jam from Webb Chapel. And we have new trouble in Fort Worth. There's a disabled vehicle in the express lanes of northbound 35W at Long Avenue. It's blocking the right express lane. Your stop and go there from Northeast 28th. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, more than 5,000 people died in workplace accidents in 2019 alone. Thomas J. Henry handles serious workplace accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Good luck, Mavs, and the NBA Finals. We're rooting for you. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on 93.3 FM.
Hey there, welcome. This is The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP now on FM at 93.3. Welcome to the big show, 800-288-9227 if you want to be part of the conversation. Clayton Neville from our sister station, KLIF, he does the morning show, and he does the news sometimes over here on WBAP. You've heard him a little bit today on the show. And he was lucky enough to take a microphone down to the plaza and bump into, of all people, Luka Doncic's mom. Luka Doncic is the big star for the Mavericks, who are having their second best season ever. And it's just a quick little 90 seconds here. But it's so cool to see a lady come over from Slovenia. You don't know anything about Slovenia. You probably don't even know where it's at. It's only like 2 million people. It's in that little armpit of the Adriatic Sea between Italy and the rest of the Balkans. And number one, wow, everyone knows English? Well, yeah, if you're from a country as small as Slovenia, you have to learn another language, or you can't talk to anybody outside of your hometown. You can't drive an hour in any direction and still understand what the heck's going on. But I'm impressed nonetheless. But just look at all the nice things that she has to say about Dallas, but also look at your kid. What if your kid was on all these billboards? What if your kid was the face of a basketball franchise getting paid tens of millions of dollars? What if your kid was on that giant 3-foot-tall TV on the American Airlines Center? What if you came to a city and when you went by the arena, there were all kinds of people wearing a T-shirt with your name on it, with your kid's number on it, with little kids taking pictures next to a statue of you or next to a cardboard cutout of you in the plaza down here. Her mind must be absolutely blown. She's just some regular person from Slovenia, a teeny tiny country in the middle of the Eastern Europe, who never thought she would be in this position, probably never thought she'd make it to America, much less her son would be a bazillionaire star like this, and there'd be a bunch of Americans. Like, Americans don't even know Slovenia exists, yet we're walking around with her name on our shirt. So just a little bit of context on how awestruck she
around
is.
the arena, I want to see everything what's going on around my son, so it's always exciting for me as his mom.
Yeah, and I mean, there he is, front and center, of course, obviously being the star of the team. What is that like from a mom perspective?
For sure, that's something I'm really proud of. I cannot express my feelings. This is something you really need to experience. So, I'm really proud of him.
And then the relationship with him in Dallas. This is his home now, isn't it?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah,
it is.
Certainly feels that way.
He really feels home.
And then just last thing, the fans. How about to see how they react and love him? That's got to make you feel good too.
That's really also something that really makes my heart so full, because I see how much they love him. So whenever I go, they're all so excited and they really love him so much.
Yeah.
Aw, that's so sweet. Think about how proud you are when your son scores a goal in a soccer game or gets a touchdown in a football game, and then have this mom on top of that. I don't want to put too much into it, but America must seem like sort of the Camelot of countries if you're from a poor Eastern European country. And it's not that Slovenia is like a third world hellhole, but this has got to be a level of glamour, glitz, riches, fame that she just never expected for 1 second. So it's kind of cool to hear that he likes it. This is his home now. And Miss Doncic, Luka's mom, if you want to stay here, we'd be happy to have you too. Why don't you stay? I mean, that's your last name too. So, and thank you very much to Clayton Neville for going down and getting that audio. And I know a lot of you people, maybe not you, but some of the other people listening, they're not really that into sports. Well, look, I'm not that into sports, but I love sports. I just don't have time to keep up with it. And every once in a while, when you have magic happen like this, I mean, think of how often the Mavericks have been in the finals. This is only the third time in Mavericks history. So pretty much Mavericks and me are about the same age. So really 3 times in my lifetime this happened. This is a pretty rare event. And so all you little anti-sports snobs, thank you very much for sticking through me while we talk about this, because we don't get to do this very often. Couple other small stories I want to squeeze in here before we, because we got to do Name That Artist next. So I'm going to play you the montage. But there's a couple other stories I'm just going to tease for when we talk. We're going to talk about this after Name That Artist. There's a couple of rulings from the Supreme Court. Not sexy, not. There's no crack or prostitutes or drugs involved, but these are things that affect your life. The bump stock ruling came down, and also the mifepristone ruling, abortion ruling. So we're gonna do a quick summary of those two after we do Name That Artist. But for Name That Artist, new people, this is what we do. We play a montage. There's 10 artists in it. If you know all 10 of these artists, if you can name all 10 of these artists, And you want to go see Tucker Carlson live with Roseanne Barr on September 24th. They're going to be at Dickies Arena in Fort Worth. Then you need to get out your phone and open a text window, or if you do the old caveman way, you can get a piece of paper and a pencil, like this is 1980 or something. I don't know. Maybe you have a quill feather and an inkwell, whatever you got to do. And then we'll play the montage again in the next segment. You type it all in real quick and then call in and we'll go through it. And if you're the guy that gets them all right, the tickets are yours. All right. So two pieces of information you need to know. Number one, the phone number 800-288-9227. The other, you need to hear the montage for Name That Artist.
But back then I didn't really know what it was. But now I see what happened is the way that people respond to summer madness. Sitting in my car outside yours. Sitting in my car outside yours. Remember when you spilled Coke all over your back? New kids on the block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's right when girls stop by for the summer. For the summer. Ain't no way I'm sitting home tonight. I'll be out until the morning light. I got my first real six string. Bought it at the 5 and dime. Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Nobody on the road. Nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air. The summer's out of reach. Keep a dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I caught it. Bad, bad boy, shiny toy with a price. You know that I bought it. Summer loving had me a blast. Summer loving happened so fast. I met a girl crazy for me. Met a boy cutest for me.
And that's your montage. Garrett, did you notice all of the songs have summer in the title? That was a rhetorical question, but thank you. If you want to be a part of the show, or if you want to play Name That Artist, you think you know all those artists, 800-288-9227. Go ahead and call. Get on hold. Garrett will screen you. We'll play the montage again. You can type out all the artists real quick. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Name That Artist next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
At Lifestyles Unlimited, we teach you the roadmap to retiring in 5 years or less through real estate investing. And you experience the reward of best product, best price, best people, and the difference it makes in your life and the life of others.
Whenever you have residents coming in and thanking you for, taking what was dull and drab and turning it around and making their life better, it's definitely a blessing.
Become a life changer today. Join Lifestyles Unlimited now for $297. That's 60% off the regular price of the Lifestyles Unlimited Financial Freedom Program. Text the letters BAP to 88007. That's BAP to 88007. Join Lifestyles Unlimited now for only $297. 60% off. Lifestyles Unlimited. Text BAP to 88007.
Believe it or not, most small businesses don't have a 401k. If you don't have a 401k, you are missing out on the greatest wealth creation tool ever created. I'm Jeff Jr. with Trajan Wealth, and many 401ks are overpriced for the employer, have expensive and underperforming investment options, and have tedious administrative provisions. Not at Trajan Wealth. We can set up a 401k for a company for only $8 per employee, a $65 per plan fee, plus a small advisory fee. That's right, not thousands or even the tens of thousands you've been quoted. And do it all in less time than it takes to sit in traffic. If you have 5 or more employees, these 401ks will help you attract and retain top talent. And if you're an employee and don't have a 401k, tell your boss. Call Trajan Wealth today. Call 469-579-3500. 469-579-3500.
Services offered through a third-party partner.
If you have cancer, you have a powerful choice. An advanced cancer treatment available right here in North Texas at Texas Center for Proton Therapy. Proton therapy precisely targets your cancer, sparing healthy tissue for fewer side effects. No doctor's referral is needed, so visit TexasProtons.com to find out if you're a candidate. Powerful cancer treatment, a powerful choice. The power of proton therapy at Texas Center for Proton Therapy.
Does your job require you to be on your feet all day? Teachers, salespeople, and restaurant staff. Many of us need our feet to get through the day. This is Brandy, and I'd like you to hear from Donna. She's a nurse and a real customer of the Good Feet store who wanted to share her story.
Oh, I have to tell you, I have struggled with pain in my feet. I was diagnosed with plantar fasciitis. With the 3-step program, it really fits to your lifestyle. I work in a hospital. I'm a registered nurse, so being on my feet, walking throughout the hospital during the day. You know, I wish I had this product 20 years ago because I think it certainly would make a difference. I am free from any type of pain, and after working a 12-hour shift, I go home and my feet do not hurt.
Whether you're a nurse or anyone wanting to enjoy work without your feet getting in the way, come see us at the Good Feet store. Learn more at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Find the closest store near you at goodfeet.com. Schedule your free test walk at goodfeet.com.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
One more chance for the Mavs to stay alive. I'm Clayton Neville from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
We have a new crash in downtown Fort Worth, partially blocking the exit ramp from 30 eastbound to 35W. You have about a 10 to 15 minute delay built up. Expect to see stop and go traffic around Forest Park Boulevard. And we're still dealing with a couple of slowdowns on 635. There's a crash on the westbound side at 35E, blocking the right lane. That's about a 5 to 10 minute delay from Webb Chapel. And a disabled vehicle was actually cleared from eastbound 635 at Garland Road, but you still have about a 15 to 20 minute slowdown unwinding from Forest Lane. With WBAP, first traffic and weather on the ones, I'm Colin Ellis.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
We're going to be sunny, hot, and humid today with a high near 95. It'll feel like 99 in the humidity. Light southeast winds only 5 to 10 miles an hour. Low tonight 74, real muggy. Will be mostly sunny, breezy, and hot tomorrow with a high of 94. 94 on Sunday with stronger southeast winds up 25 miles per hour. And with more Gulf moisture and a few clouds around, we're looking at highs in the lower 90s, but no rain Monday and Tuesday. Highs in the lower 90s and very humid. From the WBAP Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brad Barton.
The Dallas ISD School Board meeting to talk about a proposal which would require parents to take a class if their kids misbehave.
District leaders are set to discuss proposed changes to the Code of Conduct as a way to avoid sending more students to an alternative school. Instead, misbehaving students would be required to do community service or attend Saturday school. A parent or guardian would then be required to take a 3-hour parenting class. Since state law mandates alternative schools for some offenses, the new proposal would not apply for all acts of misconduct. Trustees are set to decide on this proposal later this month. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
All right, Sean, I want to stay in the newsroom. Reaction continues to the U.S. Supreme Court's ruling on the abortion pill mifepristone.
The High Court ruled unanimously that the group of anti-abortion doctors who questioned the FDA's decisions making it easier to access the pill did not have legal standing to sue. The Amarillo-based lawsuit failed to convince the court the drug was not safe. The ACLU of Texas's Blair Wallace says the ruling has little implications in Texas.
Texas is already under a total abortion ban, including medication abortion.
She says the court's reasoning behind the ruling is key because it could encourage other mifepristone challenges later on. Nicole Osei, WBAP News.
I'm Clayton Neville. Your next news update in 30 minutes. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP, now on the FM at 93.3.
It's not where you start, but where you finish. I use that quote a lot from author Zig Ziglar, who also said, "You were born to win, but to be a winner, you must plan to win, prepare to win, and expect to win." From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. I guess all of those could apply to the NBA Finals, where it's Game 4 tonight between the Mavericks and the Celtics at the American Airlines Center. But saying it and doing it, as far as winning, it doesn't always work out. Mavs could have won Game 2 in the series last Sunday at Boston, but they didn't. Could have won Game 3 on Wednesday in Big D, but they didn't. And now there's no wiggle room. Win tonight, they force a Game 5 back in Boston on Monday. Lose, and they'll spend a few weeks, a few months thinking about what went wrong. The Celtics can relate. They were in the finals a couple of years ago before losing to Golden State. They were in the East Finals last year before losing to Miami. Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving talks about how in losing sometimes you learn more than from winning. And the Celtics are a franchise that expects to win, with 17 championship banners hanging. I really do think the Mavericks will win tonight, but I said the same thing going into Game 3 Wednesday. I just don't want to see them end up being swept in the finals. That's your Friday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Shop premium grilling protein at Whole Foods Market. Save 20% on no antibiotics ever boneless beef ribeye steak with Prime through June 18th. Make it sizzle on the grill for some extra charred goodness. While supplies last, shop in-store or online. Terms apply.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Shopping for new blinds? At Blindster, we offer over 50 different blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices, custom made for your windows, and shipping is free. Shop at home and order 10 free samples of any product before you buy. Blindster.com.
Stimulating talk. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP. Now on FM at 93.3, we are now playing Name That Artist. If you heard those artists and you want to go see Tucker Carlson, well, of course you want to go see Tucker Carlson and Roseanne Barr. Call right now, 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. For those of you just joining us, Name That Artist. I'm about to play a montage, and you can write down all the artists. It's like Name That Tune, but the artist instead of the song. Just write down the artist. So we got 10 of them. Whoever can call in and name them all, or if you really get it close, I'm not going to be a butt about it. 800-288-9227. Can you name all 10 of these artists?
She was 17 and she was far from in between. It was summertime in northern Michigan. Riding round town with all the windows down. 8-track playing all your favorite songs.
School is out and it's sort of a buzz. But back then I didn't really know what it was. But now I see what happened is the way that people respond to summer madness.
Sitting in my car outside your remembering you spill coke all over your back. New kids on the block had a bunch of hits. Chinese food makes me sick, and I think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. Ain't no way I'm setting home. tonight. I'll be out until the morning light. I got my first real six string, bought it at the 5 and dime. Played it till my fingers bled. Was the summer of '69. Nobody on the road, nobody on the beach. I feel it in the air, the summer's out of reach.
People dream high in the quiet of the night. You know that I caught it. Bad, bad boy, shiny toy with a price. You know that I bought it.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happened so fast.
I met a girl crazy for me.
Met a boy cute as can be.
All right, thank you, Tammy, for pointing out that's actually 11 songs. If you can name all those artists, 800-288-9227. At stake in today's Name That Artist, we're playing for a pair of tickets to the Tucker Carlson live tour with special guest Roseanne Barr coming to Dickies Arena, Fort Worth, September 24th. Tickets on sale now at tuckercarlson.com. Can you imagine this woman who just, I don't know, a couple decades ago, she's spitting at the national anthem. She's a rabid abortion rights activist. She hates all Republicans. So let's skip the steps 2, 3, and 4. Now she's opening for Tucker Carlson. Yeah, she is. This is a weird timeline we're on. Not saying it's bad. It's just that was an interesting evolution to watch. Is this my contestant number 1? Okay. Jill in Frisco, you ready to play Name That Artist?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's hear it. Start off just with number 1. Let's go down the list.
All right, Bananarama.
Bananarama is correct.
Kid Rock.
Yes, Kid Rock is correct.
Will Smith.
You skipped War, but Will Smith was the next one. Keep going.
Beach Boys.
Beach Boys, yes.
Van Halen.
Who?
Van Halen.
You skipped LFO, but Van Halen's correct, yeah. Keep going.
Adams.
Bryan Adams, yes.
Don Henley.
Don Henley is correct. You're doing great.
Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift, yes. One more.
Grease soundtrack or John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John.
Oh, she gets bonus points for that one. Thank you very much. Jill in Frisco, you are the winner on Name That Artist. Now, are you actually able to go September 24th to see Tucker Carlson and Roseanne Barr?
Yes, sir.
Who are you a bigger fan of, Tucker Carlson or Roseanne Barr?
Tucker Carlson.
Okay. Well, no, you're allowed to have that opinion. Thank you very much for playing. I'm going to put you on hold. Garrett will get your information. We'll email you your tickets. Thank you very much for playing Name That Artist. For the rest of you losers out there, you have to go to tuckercarlson.com to get your tickets or just hang out. Maybe I'll give tickets away on a future show. But if you want to go ahead and lock down your tickets, tuckercarlson.com. Last time Tucker Carlson came to Fort Worth was just like 3 months ago. It was packed. He was at some Tarrant County GOP event. I think it sold out. All right, coming up next, you're going to hear a brief breakdown on what came through the Supreme Court this week and how it affects you. Next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The one thing we know for certain is the United States is going to be one intense place this fall.
Tucker Carlson is coming to DFW at Dickies Arena.
So we thought, what better time to hit the road and see the country? And we're going to this fall from coast to coast. We're going on a live tour with a bunch of friends of ours who you will recognize. We're going to be live on stage responding to everything that is happening in real time. It's going to be fun and interesting and a great way to spend your fall. So I hope you'll join us.
Tickets on sale now at tuckercarlson.com or win your tickets here. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Westwood Financial Group is not a law firm.
Is your timeshare suffocating you? Are you feeling powerless because you were sold a bad investment that is nothing like you were promised? I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. If you're ready to get rid of that timeshare, I'll send you our Timeshare Exit Information Kit free, exposing the timeshare industry scams with all your options for cancellation.
Call 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188. 800-653-1188.
When life spells heartburn, how do you spell relief? R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
What about when life spells fried chicken?
R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Fourth cup of coffee?
Still R-O-L-A-I-D-S.
Extra cheesy pizza?
Rolaids always spells relief. Rolaids' powerful dual-active formula begins neutralizing acid on contact to fight your heartburn fast. So, when life spells heartburn, Rolaids spells relief. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
A huge lakefront grand opening is taking place on Saturday, June 22nd on Bodark Lake, Texas's first new lake in over 30 years. For the first time ever, you can buy one of these new lakefronts directly from the developer starting at only $99.9. Yes, you can own a lakefront home site on Texas's most talked about lake for under $100,000. Located 60 miles north of Dallas, this incredible property boasts 3 miles of gorgeous shoreline, sweeping lake views, a multi-million-dollar clubhouse, lakefront pool, fitness center, on-site marina, walking trails, and so much more. Call now to get more info or to secure a spot at the grand opening of 5 Points. And maybe you can take home a lakefront on the most coveted lake in Texas right now. All properties will be released and sold on a first-come, first-choice basis on Saturday, June 22nd. So call now, 800-675-1800. Beautiful Bodark Lake from only $99.9. Call 800-675-1800. 800-675-1800. 800-675-1800.
Thomas J. Henry is recognized across the nation for taking on serious cases and getting serious results. And after 30 years of practice, Thomas J. Henry works on his next case with the same passion and desire as he did to win his first case. If you or a loved one is in need of a personal injury attorney, call Thomas J. Henry, the name you know, the firm you trust. Dallas-Fort Worth and San Antonio, Texas.
Thinking of popping the question? Diamonds Direct has an offer you can't miss. This month only, buy a natural diamond engagement ring of 1 carat plus and receive a free natural 1 carat diamond tennis bracelet valued at $2,000. Imagine giving her the ring of her dreams and her wedding gift all at once. No one provides education, selection, and value like Diamonds Direct. Your chance to get a free tennis bracelet from your friends at Diamonds Direct won't last long. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
At Seconds and Surplus North Richland Hills, you'll get more for your project dollar. More cabinets, flooring, baths, and doors, all at unbeatable prices. But that's not all. You'll find more countertops, sinks, and backsplashes still at unbeatable prices. Keep listening because there's even more, like exceptional service, free kitchen designs, installation, plus local and nationwide delivery. Get more at secondsandsurplus.com.
We still have about a 10-minute delay lingering on eastbound 635 because of a disabled vehicle that was at Garland Road. It's been cleared for quite a while, but you're still moving slow all the way back from Forest. Westbound 635, there's still a crash in the right lane at 35E. That's adding about 5 to 10 minutes of extra stop and go from Webb Chapel. And a crash was cleared in downtown Fort Worth from the exit ramp of eastbound I-32 35W. Still look out for some extra brake lights around Rosedale. With WBAP First Traffic, I'm Colin Ellis.
Brought to you by carsforkids.org.
Donate your old vehicle to carsforkids.org to make a difference in the lives of kids. Free towing from carsforkids.org, plus a $50 gift card.
Carsforkids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, happy Friday. Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Thank you very much for playing Name That Artist in the last segment. Got to get back to the news in this segment because I don't want you to go into the weekend uninformed. By the way, weekend starts in just over an hour. Sorry, I have a great weekend planned, so I'm pretty excited about it. I'm sure you do too. But a couple of important things before we get out of here. Number one, there was the bump stock ruling in the Supreme Court. You may have heard that in our top of the hour news headlines. And the bump stock ruling seems like a slam dunk, but we're not lawyers and we've been wrong about such things before. But the bump stop thing bugs a lot of people because it was the only thing that Donald Trump did concerning guns, gun policy in his tenure in office. and it was to expand gun control, to contract your gun rights. Now, the bump stock case was an interesting litmus test because the people who are against bump stocks, well, they're just generally against guns, period. I don't know of really anybody who's a pro-gun, pro-Second Amendment kind of guy who saw the reasoning behind this case and said, yeah, they're making a good point about the bump stocks. That should probably be illegal. And I saw no one on the other side that's generally anti-gun and gun rights saying, well, no, that's not what the bump stock does. I think they're misrepresenting it here. So everyone was already calcified in their position based on your previous existence into team gun or team anti-gun. But it's on our radar because of the shooting that happened in Las Vegas, the Mandalay Bay shooting, literally the deadliest mass shooting, and all these mass shootings that we talk about. Whether it's, we're getting an update on Parkland today. I keep seeing them show that on MSNBC all day, or at least since I've been here, because once an hour they have to remind you that, hey, today they're demolishing the building where the Parkland school shooting happened. They have to constantly remind you about the situations that fit the narrative, that scare you, that help. But this one, far more deadly than Parkland. And I'm not celebrating that. I'm not bragging about that. I'm not being flippant about that. But it was a tragedy of magnitudes and orders of magnitude bigger than Parkland. And you know what the cause was? You know why the guy got up in Mandalay Bay and shot all of your neighbors, all of your fellow Americans? We don't know. The FBI investigated it, said the cause was undetermined, and then they didn't release the source material, and so we're not supposed to know. Now, how much do you trust the FBI after what you've seen over the last year, after what you've seen over the last 4 years, after knowing that they would hide the Hunter Biden laptop 4 years ago, but then this year enter it as evidence in a criminal trial? How do you feel about that now that you know that even the FBI, even the dignity and the history and the tradition and the good name of the FBI has been so politicized that you can't trust them in situations that overlap with politics? And this definitely does. So the bump stock ban came from that Las Vegas shooting because the only thing we know or we've been told about it is of the giant arsenal that Home Skillet had in that room. One of the items he had was a bump stock. Now, we haven't got confirmation or any reports that it was used in the shooting. We just know it was part of what was picked up as evidence in the room. So just because an accessory may have been used once in a shooting, I've heard of no other stories where someone used a bump stock for a mass shooting or any shooting, because something may have been, it was just in the room once, that it was intolerable and we had to infringe on your Second Amendment rights. What a crazy case that was. But on top of that, it was Donald Trump that did the executive order to ban it. Now, this is the sneaky, slippery slope situation that comes up. This is why you don't ever relent. This is why you don't ever give up an inch of philosophical battleground. Because a bill did not have to go through the House of Representatives and the Senate and then conference committee and then be passed by both and then be signed by the president and then survive judicial review to go into law. No. Just an executive order, just the whim of whoever's in the White House, because you already gave up, or not you specifically, but the ideological battleground was already given up that some things can be banned. There can be some infringements, whether it's a background check or a database or some other tax stamp or some training, or it's another infringement. All he had to do was change the definition of an accessory. He changed the definition of a bump stock, changed the definition of something over here, which is why in these other gun situations, the lesson learned here is, no, we shouldn't take gun rights away from people who've been deemed mentally incompetent, because then all they have to do to take away your guns is change the definition of mentally incompetent. Just like I don't like the fact that Hunter Biden had to fill out a form saying, are you addicted to drugs? Do you have any drug issues, or how it was worded? Because if they are allowed to infringe on your Second Amendment rights because of your drug regimen, how many of you are on prescriptions right now? How many of you are taking something that could be accused of affecting your judgment, whether it's a Prozac or a blood thinner Or maybe you're not on anything now, but you took Ritalin back in school, or you took Adderall back in school. So you have a paper trail of mental instability. See, these are the little expansions that need to be stamped out, and you don't need to give up an inch. This is why you need to go reclaim some of the battleground that's already been taken from you. The other Supreme Court ruling, you heard about this in the top of the hour news from the WBAP newsroom. Mifepristone from the Supreme Court will exist. The lawsuit against it was shut down. And well, listen, when the Mifepristone ruling comes down through the Supreme Court, I think I have a different reaction than everyone else that you've heard all day and yesterday. Most analysts, most of the common thinking pundits are now debating the ethics of abortion. This makes me think of the death penalty. Think about it like this, because you can probably faintly recall hearing stories about how executions have been stopped because some bedwetting lefty lawsuit claiming the drug cocktail is inhumane. I think they did this in like Oklahoma or Utah or something. And their rationale is like, you can't prove that the executed criminal doesn't feel pain or extreme pain or suffering, because they end up dead. So we must assume, out of an abundance of concern for humanity and human life, that it is therefore could be cruel and unusual, rendering executions unconstitutional. Well, that's interesting. Let's take that same approach to mifepristone. Can you prove the baby doesn't feel pain? Wouldn't that make it, therefore, cruel and unusual, rendering mifepristone abortions unconstitutional? Oh, no, you don't want to stretch out of an abundance of caution for the humanity that's in the womb. Just rapists and murderers on death row. Nice double standard you got there. This is The James Show. Coming up next, we're going to talk to Manny Munoz. He's a talk show host in Miami, and I want to talk to him because 90 miles or so south of him, we got a Russian warship with a whole bunch of missiles pointed at him. How fun is that for our friends in South Florida? Find out next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
My dad's sleeping on the couch. Yeah, Mom's really not happy because Dad forgot to mention his IRS problems. She found out when a whole bunch of IRS letters rained down on us like bad report cards. Mom's freaking out that the IRS will grab our stuff. She said if Dad doesn't get this fixed, he's out. And I don't want to see my dad on the street like a homeless bum. Plus, she said at this rate, I'll never get that little brother to be player 2 in my video games. I'm calling IRSprop.com at 214-214-3000 to get Dad a free consultation with Randy Martin. He's right here in Dallas, and he knows how to tackle those IRS monsters. Listen up. If your dad's in hot water with the IRS, you gotta dial 214-214-3000. I'll say it again, 214-214-3000. Call now. Those government guys aren't getting their hands on my toys. And don't forget to tell them that Tommy sent you.
The fight for justice never ends. In Texas, there's only one name you need to know. Thomas J. Henry Law. We're one of the biggest personal injury firms in Texas with the money to fight for you. We invest in expert witnesses, investigators, and cutting-edge technology because the best evidence wins cases. And you only pay if we win. No upfront fees, no hidden costs. We give back to the communities we serve, from school supplies for tens of thousands of kids to food for families and pets. Thomas J. Henry. Visit us online at tjhlaw.com. San Antonio.
Struggling to lose weight? Get Well Institute's innovative weight loss program delivers results at your front door. Personalized plans, expert guidance, the convenience of home appointments, and results. Start your transformation today. Get information and enroll at getwellinst.com. Going into the presidential election this fall, the United States is going to be one intense place. This fall, Tucker Carlson will be hitting the road for his first live tour, responding to everything that is happening in real time. See him live in Fort Worth at Dickies Arena on September 24th with special guest Roseanne Barr. Tickets on sale now at tuckercarlson.com. The Tucker Carlson Live Tour is presented by Sambrosa.com and brought to you by Swan Bitcoin.
Are you struggling with bad feet? This is Brandy, and at the Good Feet store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet arch support system.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
So did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. Maybe that's the reason all the remedies you've tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy, you're gonna feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me, and good movement starts with the feet.
Find the closest store near you at goodfeet.com. Good Feet arch supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's business cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp for free. Just go to ramp.com/250. Ramp.com/250. ramp.com/250.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Hi, I'm Jeff Stewart with Reliant Air Conditioning. You've heard me talk about the utility program that allows us to offer instant rebates of up to $2,400 for replacing your AC system, right? Well, over 80% of the utility funds have been claimed. So that means only 200 more people will be able to take advantage before the funds run out. And remember, when you combine that with the current factory rebates, you're saving over $5,000 on a brand new Reliant air conditioning system that can cut your electric bill in half for as little as $98 a month. You may have heard about nationwide AC unit shortages, but we have plenty of equipment. And if you call by noon, we can install the system the very next day. That's right, call by noon and have your new system installed the next day. Call us at 877-YOUR-HERO or schedule your free estimate online at ReliantAirConditioning.com, and you'll see how we've been gimmick-free since '83.
Call 877-YOUR-HERO.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP AM, Fort Worth, Dallas. 93.3 WBAP FM, Haltom City, Dallas. And 99.5 KPLX FM HD2, Fort Worth, Dallas.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus media station.
Trending now.
The impact of Texas military bases on the state's economy. I'm Clayton Neville from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
I-45 northbound Loop 12 Ledbetter up to Illinois Avenue. 2 left lanes taken away for construction. That's heavy to Simpson Stewart. At 635 westbound at I-35E, got one in the right lane. That's heavy to Marsh Lane. At 121 northbound at Legacy, that car fire takes away the right lane. At 121 northbound at Main Street and Grapevine, the left lane still blocked for a wreck. On WBAP's first traffic on the ones, I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet and Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
High pressure from the southwest, which produced record heat in Las Vegas, is expanding into Texas, and that means hot and humid, rain-free weather through at least Tuesday, but 2 tropical waves in the Gulf may produce a few scattered showers and storms by midweek. Light southeast winds, low tonight 75. Will be mostly sunny, breezy, and hot. 94 tomorrow. 94 with gusty southeast winds on Sunday, and then highs with more clouds and more Gulf humidity, probably 92 or 93 Monday and Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brad Barton from the WBAP Weather Center.
Governor Abbott touting the role of U.S. military installations on the Texas economy. According to the governor, military bases in Texas contributed at least $151 billion to the Texas economy last year and supported more than 677,000 jobs statewide. The results are based on a new study by the Texas Comptroller analyzing the impact on the state's economy on its military bases. A Fort Worth man facing charges for allegedly threatening an FBI agent known to be involved in an investigation into Hunter Biden.
Investigators say shortly after Hunter Biden was found guilty on 3 felony gun charges Tuesday, 43-year-old Timothy Mueller placed a call to an FBI special agent. He allegedly left an over 1-minute-long message threatening the agent and his family. Among the statements, quote, "You can run, but you can't hide." Mueller is charged with interstate threatening communications and influencing, impeding and retaliating against a federal official. He's facing up to 10 years in federal prison if convicted. Nicole Osei, WBAP News.
Just over a week after Governor Abbott launched Texas's 10 most wanted criminal illegal immigrants list, DPS has captured the #1 most wanted fugitive from that list, 38-year-old Hugo Gonzalez, who was wanted for aggravated sexual assault of a child and indecency with a child, was taken into custody in Fort Worth by DPS special agents and booked into the Tarrant County Jail. Authorities say Gonzalez is a criminal illegal immigrant from Mexico with ties to Tarrant County, including the cities of Pantego and Arlington. The city of Fort Worth considering a plan that could significantly expand the stockyards.
The plan would add 300,000 square feet of commercial space, 3 hotels, and an underground parking garage with 1,300 parking spaces. This expansion would be on land behind Billy Bob's, which is currently used for parking and livestock pens. The new plan will require the city council to approve tax incentives to developers who have committed at least $630 million to the project. The Fort Worth City Council is expected to vote on those incentives later this month. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
In sports, the Dallas Mavericks have an opportunity to get their first win of the NBA Finals series with Boston tonight. The Celtics lead the Mavericks 3-0. Dallas at home with an opportunity to send it back to Boston. I'm Clayton Neville. Your next news update in 30 minutes. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected. DFW to News Talk 820 WBAP. Now on the FM at 93.3.
This hour on WBAP is brought to you by the Wilhite Law Firm Injury Lawyers. Go to WilhiteWins.com.
That's WilhiteWins.com.
Hey there, welcome. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Happy Friday, let's go. The weekend now officially starts in 1 hour. You have 1 hour before we can all get the heck out of here and go have some fun for a couple of days. But hey, we still have some more fun left for the show. My next guest giving me an assist is Manny Munoz. Pardon me. He is a talk show host from WIOD in Miami. Welcome to the James Show on WBAP in Dallas. Here in Texas, we're just wondering how it feels, Manny, to be 90 miles away from Russian missiles like the Cuban Missile Crisis.
If they had nuclear weapons, I'd be a little worried like they were back then. It was, I guess it was on Wednesday. They were about 25 miles right off the shore of Miami Beach, so it was a little hairier back then. But yeah, and then all of a sudden you get the USS Helena, a U.S. nuclear-powered submarine that just happens to show up at Guantanamo Bay a couple days after this Russian Navy flotilla shows up in Havana.
You are saying new information to us because CNN and MSNBC are acting like this hadn't happened since Wednesday. So I haven't heard about the sub or any of the other response. I hadn't even heard that there was the ship was 25 miles from Miami.
Well, apparently it came through the Florida Straits between here and Bimini. The Russian flotilla had been monitored by the U.S. Coast Guard, U.S. Navy, and apparently a Canadian Royal Naval aircraft as it moved through their international waters. I guess is 24 miles, and this thing came pretty close to right where Florida waters would end. But yeah, moved through there I guess on a Wednesday before docking there in Havana yesterday. Well,
that's kind of a concern there. Was it visible like with the naked eye from the beach?
No, I didn't see any, but we've had some serious weather and flooding over the last few days, starting on Wednesday, as a matter of fact. So nobody would have been able to see it from the beach, and I'm not sure you would have seen the marine surface at that point anyway. But apparently, according to the Coast Guard, U.S. Military Southern Command, a couple of people I've spoken to over at Southcom, This is nothing new, been going on pretty regularly, and they were monitoring those ships and the submarine while it crossed the Atlantic and through the straits here.
Okay, so explain the submarine, the Helena. What's the Helena?
Well, the USS Helena is an a nuclear-powered submarine, U.S. Navy ship that just happened to dock on the other side of, I think it was earlier today, maybe late last night, about 24 hours after the Russian ships and submarine docked in Havana.
So is this all normal military drills, or is this something new Putin has done? Because in the reporting I saw initially with it on Wednesday, it came with the policy change where Putin said he was exploring some options on attacks in the United States through a proxy, just like we're doing in Ukraine.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question he's trying to show off and show a little bit, kind of poke its eyes at the Biden administration by doing this right now. From what I've been told, a couple of people I spoke to earlier in the week at Southern Command, this was something that isn't unusual, just didn't make headlines, and happened pretty regularly. They told me between about 2012 or 2013 and 2020. It hadn't happened in a few years, and then all of a sudden he does this right on the heels of the Biden administration apparently saying that the U.S. weapons can be used for strikes within Russia. So I think you got a little cat and mouse game going on here between the two administrations.
Well, they've got my attention. What are the people in Florida saying? Are they making any connection with, Joe Biden freezing up at the Juneteenth concert and slurring and mumbling and shaking invisible hands with Putin making these overt acts? Is there a connection being made?
I'm not sure. I would hope Joe Biden wouldn't be making these calls. It would be the Department of Defense and the Secretary of the Navy at this point. But I feel like we're in pretty good hands. The media that the military people I'm talking to have me feeling pretty secure that they're in charge, and we don't have to worry about Joe Biden making this call right now.
Yeah, and that's the optimistic take that I'm trying to push over here for both sides of the aisle. You've just had the worst person ever be president for the last 4 years, and for the other side of the aisle, you just had the worst person be president for 4 years before that. Apparently, this country's pretty robust.
Yeah, well, when you're pissing people off on both sides, somebody's doing something right. When you look at the last 3.5 years, it seems like the entire Biden foreign policy has been not to instigate anybody, especially our enemies, and that hasn't gotten us anywhere. And that's what you're seeing now. The Russians just kind of poking their eyes and thumbing themselves at us.
Do you have a timetable on when this is over, Manny?
I believe the Russian military ships are supposed to leave sometime on Monday. It was described to me by somebody at Southcom almost like they're having, their Navy days, like a fleet week there in Havana. And I believe they're supposed to do some military exercises down in the Southern Caribbean near Venezuela is where they believe they're going to head after they leave Cuba.
Yeah, I figure the Cuban, it's such an impoverished country. The Cuban Navy's probably a couple of 50-year-old freighters and a bass boat.
They might not be able to go very far without the fuel that this Russian frigate was supposedly bringing in. So I'm not sure what kind of military exercises or naval exercises anyway they were planning.
Yeah, and a listener pointed out to me on Wednesday that must be pretty sad if you're bringing a tugboat, like you're expecting to need a tugboat in your military exercises with Cuba. That's not a good sign.
No, and I think James learned over the last couple of 2 years since the Ukraine war started. That the vaunted, Russian military that we were sold during the Cold War and since wasn't as vaunted as everybody said it was.
Yeah, well, economic superiority kind of counts for a lot, even in the
Sure
military world. What do you think is going to happen next, Manny?
That's an excellent question. This just seems to be like a game of cat and mouse. The Russian those naval vessels are supposed to head down towards Venezuela. I don't think both sides are saying that there's nothing to see here. We're just doing routine stuff, and I would hope that the Biden administration would be in charge by some grown-ups who got their head on straight and make sure nothing gets out of hand here. Because luckily the Russian naval vessels are not carrying any nuclear weapons from what we're told, but the frigate supposed to have hypersonic weapons on it. So who knows, man? I hope we just get through this and get to the election and move on.
All right. Well, I'm going to follow you on Twitter/X in case any missiles start floating over Miami. You can find him at IOD Manny Munoz. Thanks for being on the James Show on WBAP.
James, happy Friday, brother. Thanks so much.
All right. Well, that makes me feel a lot better hearing from someone in South Florida. And listen, if you're in the umbrella of the missile strike capabilities and to be that relaxed. All right, well, if he's not that worried about it, I'm not that worried about it. Coming up next, though, are you worried about it? What do you think Putin sees when he sees that video of your president freezing at the Juneteenth concert? Does he think, ooh, I better not do anything, or I better watch my step in regards to Ukraine? Or he's like, dude, if I'm going to do anything, I better do it against this guy. 800-288-WBAP. Because that's the thing people keep pointing out to me. They say, James, I know you say whether a guy's stumbling, bumbling doesn't matter that much. Policy's far more important. But this mental decline and just looking like the lights aren't on, that has to be incentivizing the crazy, dictators on the other side of the planet, the Russia, Gaza, China, North Korea, Iran. They've all been acting out the last 3 years. That can't be just a coincidence. What do you think? 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. This is the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The lessons in life that he taught me. My father can fix anything. He was just a great person, and I think about him often.
Daddy, can you see me?
He's everything a man could be.
Daddy, can you hear the words I say?
Pancakes on Saturday mornings and deer hunting during hunting season.
That's why he's great.
Happy Father's Day, Dad.
News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
This is Spencer McGowan, host of Net Worth Radio. I love technology breakthroughs, especially anti-aging. The latest technology breakthrough for taking inches off your waist, CryoSkin slimming and toning. I've been going for weeks now. I lost 2 inches off my waist. The facial toning, absolutely amazing to take years off your appearance, neck and face. A buddy of mine lost 7 inches. He goes for slimming and toning too. It's okay for guys. And CryoSkin slimming and toning, the best technicians I've found are at Preston Center, advancedregeneration.com, 469-708-0005. In 45 minutes, you can transform your appearance and lose inches off your waist. AdvancedRegeneration.com, 469-708-0005. Call him today.
Here's automotive expert and nationally syndicated talk show host, Jerry Reynolds.
The 4 DFW 5-star Ford dealerships are liquidating the remaining 2023 models. Only 203 2023 models are left out of over 2,800 new Fords at the 4 locations. And that means the first 203 bargain hunters are going to get the deal of a lifetime. Just make them an offer, but once they're gone, they're gone. Plus these amazing incentives: 2023 F-150s, 1.9 APR plus 1,000 cash, or 3.9% for 84 months plus 1,000 cash. 2003 Escape, Bronco Sport, and Explorer 0 for 60 plus 750 to 1,000 cash back. It's an all-out sellout of the 2023 Fords for those who hurry. So rush to 5-Star Ford in Carrollton, North Richland Hills, Louisville, or Dallas. Online at sampac.com.
We're taking care of business.
Hi, Brad Barton here with real-life stories from real people who picked up the phone and called Dan Harker and Empower Home Team with Keller Williams Realty to go to work for them. Recently, Dan Harker and Empower Home Team sold Larry and Stephanie's home for 100% of asking price, but before it even hit the market. Larry and Stephanie were absolutely amazed at the process and the fact that Dan already had the buyers, over 13,900 buyers in his exclusive database. Larry and Stephanie couldn't believe how stress-free the transaction was, and they encourage anyone who's selling their home to call Empower Home Team. They said, if you want to sell, then call Dan Harker because he has exactly what you need, buyers. So take it from Larry, Stephanie, and me. Don't settle for just any realtor when you can hire the team that sells a home every 2 hours. Call Dan Harker at Empower Home Team today. Call 844-672-SOLD. That's 844-672-SOLD, or visit harkerhasthebuyers.com. That's harkerhasthebuyers.com.
Still seeing the delays on 635 southbound as you approach I-30. The earlier wreck did clear out of there, but it is still rolling slow. Problem spot on 635 westbound at I-35E clearing. That's heavy to Marsh Lane. Also 121 the Sam Rayburn Tollway northbound at Legacy and Plano. The right lane blocked for a car fire. 121 southbound at Glade Road and Grapevine. The off-ramp blocked for that crash with a 10-minute backup to 114. And in Weatherford, I-20 eastbound is now shut down at Main Street because of a wreck. Still got about a 15-minute backup there to Bethel Road. On WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
This report is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered. Visit Progressive.com or call 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
Brought to you by the Good Feet Store.
Hi, this is Brandy from the Good Feet Store. Are you standing on painful feet all day? Don't lose hope. We want to help you live without pain. Discover your options and visit goodfeet.com.
I'm the leading person for president, and I'm under a gag order by a man that can't put two sentences together.
Keep connected, DFW.
News Talk 820, WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, thank you for joining us. This is The James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Your weekend starts in 40 minutes. In 15 minutes, you're going to get ruthless movie reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. But the question that we've been talking about most of the day is Biden's mental decline. Look, there's no one arguing that there's an unnoticeable decline. That argument has just about gone away. The best that you're seeing on the pushback on that argument is, well, Trump's old too. I saw a post online earlier today that's like, Trump is now the age that Biden was when he was elected. How come no one's talking about his age? Well, because Trump doesn't freeze in concerts. Trump doesn't try and shake the hands of people who are there. I'm not saying Trump is an Olympic decathlete, but if you're comparing the mental decline and just the change in facial expressions, how he's always squinting, his behavior, his speech patterns, the way he walks, his gait. It's all changed for Biden. And if you're saying, well, it's changed for Trump too, it's not the same and you know it. You're not serious. Go ahead, admit it, and then let's talk about what's going on after that, because I just can't take you serious if you don't. And look, maybe I just hadn't seen it. Send me the video. Send me the video where Trump just freezes, where it just looks like Mr. Magoo staring off in the distance. Got the 1,000-yard stare. Because the best counter argument to that is what do the bad people in the world see? What does Putin see? What does Xi Jinping see? What do the Ayatollahs of Iran see? The guys that are running Hamas right now, and they see Joe Biden freezing at the concert. Is that an issue? Do you think that's an issue? 800-288-9227. Do you think that inspires them, that incentivizes them, that motivates them? The slurring you don't have to worry too much about. Even if they do know English, it's as a second language, and it's not as obvious to the outside world as it is to me and you when he says crazy things, or he lies, or he says things wrong, or he's kind of does the mumble thing or makes up words. They don't get that. But you don't have to speak English or know anything about our language to see the dude freezing, to see the guy get lost on stage, to see the guy at Normandy walk off and just appear to be like a herding cats, where the prime minister of Italy had to go grab his arm. Isn't that who that was? Someone had to go grab his arm. Hey, dude, there's a guy who just parachuted and landed in front of you. You want to pay attention here? You don't have to know English for that guy to look weak. And so I just try not to be sensational or hyperbolic. I come down at the end of the day. America is so robust that we can survive imbeciles being president. And I know this because of history. Let's go back in time with Huey Lewis. Let's go back in time about 100 years or so ago. It was in 1919. Woodrow Wilson was our president. Now, Woodrow Wilson is a terrible, terrible human being. Maybe the worst president, probably the second worst president in American history, second only to FDR himself. Do you know Woodrow Wilson was only one of two presidents to ever be a citizen of the Confederate States. Oh, he was a Confederate. His dad was a big Confederate, too. Big old racist, Woodrow Wilson. He had a stroke, though, and he had almost 2 years left in office. Remember, back in the day, after you got elected in November, they didn't switch office until sometime down in March because it took a whole while to get the whole cabinet together, and plus you had to take like a horse and buggy across mountains and yonder hollers and rivers and whatever. Had to ford the river like Oregon Trail just to get to office. So they gave him a little more time back then. So when Woodrow Wilson strokes out, he has 2 years in office left. The whole left side of his body is paralyzed. And he's blind in his left eye, and he has partial blindness in his right eye. He can barely talk. They stuck him in a back room, and his wife and his primary physician, some guy named Carrie, were basically the only people that saw him for almost 2 years. His wife would take a document, decide if it was important enough to be presented to the president, or she would take care of it herself. There's a great case to be made that Woodrow Wilson's second wife, his first one died, was the de facto first female president, and everyone was cool with it. We have the example. Now, this was in the wake of World War I. World War I had only been over for a year or two. And so for 1919, they could hide it for a little bit. But by the time November of 1919 rolled around, he had only made a partial recovery. And the rest of the world, you can see reports on where this guy is permanently disabled. Don't expect to see him again. Were we attacked? Did a bunch of froggy bad guys jump in our moment of weakness? No. Because as it stands, our real moment of weakness didn't happen just because some goober in the Oval Office had a stroke. We have the military to back us up. We have the military apparatus to back us up. We have the weapons, and we have the economy that buys the weapons. We have the disposable income that can research and develop new weapons to stay ahead of our opponents. And it doesn't matter if we have a slobbering stroke victim in the White House who can barely talk. America can endure that. So what's the takeaway from that? Number one, calm down. Anybody who tells you that our country's existence depends on the next election, whether they're on team red or blue, they're misled. They're way too sensational. They don't give us enough credit. They shouldn't be this scared. They shouldn't be trying to scare you, and they probably don't have a full understanding of history. And look, that's one of the motivating tactics that people use is fear. Look at how effective it is. Look at how effective it is to getting voters out. Hey, if you don't vote for me, climate change is going to destroy the planet. Hey, if you don't vote for me, white supremacists are going to genocide your entire race of people. Hey, if you don't vote for me, X, Y, Z. There's always a fear behind it. If you don't vote for me, then gun violence is going to destroy your entire community. We are more robust than that. Here's what I'm telling you. Don't vote out of fear. Don't vote because you've been trained to hate the other guy. Develop a set of principles and vote based on those. Find out what kind of economist you are. Do you even know? I'm an Austrian economist. What kind of economist are you, Garrett? See, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Find out what you are and then find out which candidate matches up to that. Don't just find out where they stand on abortion or guns or these, these very popular, although polarizing topics. Get to the meat and potatoes, and you'll feel a lot better about yourself. All you people who are so hyped up, because I get it from both sides, man. I get it from Team Red and Team Blue. This country can't stand another 4 years of Trump. That makes no sense. We already had him as president for 4 years. Well, this time he's going to lock up all those political opponents. He was already president for 4 years, and he didn't do it. How can you say that? No, he's going to act as a dictator, and if he ever gets into office, he won't step down. We already saw him step down. Everybody calm down. The world's not about to end. This country's not hanging in the balance, no matter who wins or loses this election cycle. It turns out we are more robust than this. And Joe Biden run around freezing, seeing invisible people, That should make you feel better about how strong this country is. This is how the country was written. This is why we're not an autocracy. This is why we're not a monarchy. You know, if we were and the king had a stroke or was Joe Biden, that would open us up. That would make us defenseless. But things are not that dire in America. Be happy. Have a good weekend. Focus on your family. Don't be so stressed out. Just chill a little bit. We're going to be all right. If we can survive this guy, we're going to be all right. Coming up next, Ruthless Movie Reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. What are the new movies coming out this weekend, and are they any good? You'll find out next on The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
With staff shortages happening across the country, most businesses are trying to get more done with less help. This often results in workplace accidents that can cause injury or even death. If you or a loved one has been injured in a workplace accident, call Thomas J. Henry. We handle serious workplace accidents and get serious results. Call Thomas J. Henry today. Available 24/7, nights and weekends.
Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio, Texas.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
A lot of times people don't understand what a supplement is. A supplement is in addition to your regular foods. It's really just an incredible formula, and I've been doing nutrients for 43 years. It has a tremendous effect on how I feel, my well-being. I love the way it gives me all my supplements for fruits and vegetables, which I take a lot of anyway. But I find that this gives me that supplement that I was missing before.
Time's ticking. Make a splash into summer with Balance of Nature supplements. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first order, plus a free fiber and spice supplement while supplies last, with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. That's 1-800-246-8751. Hurry, this week's your last chance to claim this offer. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this offer by using discount code DALLAS.
Are you ready for retirement? Did you know people typically spend 20 to 30 years of their life being retired? Kathy DeWitt Dunn and her team at DeWitt & Dunn Financial Services have the knowledge and experience to get you prepared for what's ahead. Kathy understands there's never a one-size-fits-all approach to retirement planning. Using her years of experience as a retirement planning and annuities expert, a plan is created based on your specific goals. Together, the team at DeWitt & Dunn Financial Services provide the best solutions, whether you're already retired or planning for retirement. Wondering how much you'll need to save for retirement or how much income your current 401k or portfolio provide? Get answers now and talk to the team at DeWitt & Dunn Financial Services. Call 972-473-4700. 972-473-4700 to schedule a consultation at their offices in Addison and Arlington, or online at DeWittandDunn.com. Get it done with DeWitt and Dunn.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
DFW's News, Talk, Traffic, and Weather Station. News Talk 820 WBAP. And now on FM at 93.3.
Streaming live on our free mobile app.
A Cumulus Media Station. Trending now.
Growing demands surrounding the Tarrant County Jail. I'm Clayton Neville from the Novak Motors News Desk.
ClassicChevrolet.com. WBAP's first traffic and weather.
On the ones.
I'm in Plano, 121 northbound at Legacy, the right lane taken away there. Also got one in Allen, 75 southbound at Ridgemont, HOV lane blocked off. That's heavy to about Allen Drive. And 121 southbound at Glade Road in Grapevine, the off-ramp still blocked for that crash. And in Weatherford, I-20 eastbound at Main Street, the freeway shut down, about a 25 to 30-minute backup to Old Dennis Road. WBAP's first traffic on the ones. I'm Monty Cook.
Why do so many Texans love Classic Chevrolet in Grapevine? We're the #1 Chevy dealership in the world. New Silverados, more than anyone. Malibus, Blazers, Equinox. Gotta visit ClassicChevrolet.com. Together, let's drive. Based on new Chevrolet registrations 2023.
Light southeast winds only 5 to 10 miles an hour, low tonight 74, real muggy. Will be mostly sunny, breezy, and hot tomorrow with a high of 94. 94 on Sunday with stronger southeast winds up 25 miles per hour. And with more Gulf moisture and a few clouds around, we're looking at highs in the lower 90s, but no rain Monday and Tuesday. Highs in the lower 90s and very humid. From the WBAP Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brad Barton.
Arrested in Fort Worth, one of the Texas 10 most wanted criminal illegal immigrants. We go to the newsroom.
Texas troopers report 38-year-old Victor Hugo Gonzalez Show booked into the Tarrant County Jail, wanted on charges of aggravated sex assault and indecency with a child in Arlington. Officials say the Mexican immigrant has ties to Tarrant County and was convicted in 2016 of driving while intoxicated with a child under the age of 15 and assault with bodily injury. You can find information about the new Texas Criminal Undocumented Immigrants Top 10 on the Department of Public Safety website. Kimberly James, WBAP News.
Let's stay in the newsroom because there is growing demand to release the full video of Anthony Johnson Jr. after his death was ruled to be a homicide in Tarrant County.
Only about 2 minutes and 40 seconds of the 9-minute cell phone video that was filmed by Lieutenant Joe Garcia has been released. The video shows the altercation that Anthony Johnson Jr. has with jailers that resulted in his death last April. The Tarrant County Sheriff's Office stated that they won't release the video because it's against their standards to release any images of unresponsive or deceased individuals. Sheriff Bill Wayborn fired Rafael Moreno and his supervisor, Lieutenant Joe Garcia, about 3.5 weeks after Johnson's death, only to reinstate them because civil service rules weren't properly followed. Sean Allen, WBAP News.
I'm Clayton Neville. Your next news update in 30 minutes. Check back several times throughout your day and keep connected, DFW, to News Talk 820 WBAP, now on the FM at 93.3.
I'd love to see this headline tomorrow on the Dallas Morning News. The opera ain't over until the fat lady sings. From our Mullen & Mullen Law Firm Sports Desk, I'm Steve Lamb. That was the headline in the paper back in 1976. When Texas Tech Sports Information Director Ralph Carpenter was following the Southwest Conference basketball tournament, where Texas A&M rallied for a 72-72 tie late in the finals. Somebody asked Ralph, "This is going to be a tight one after all, right?" Ralph said, "The opera ain't over until the fat lady sings." Well, the opera around here is the NBA Finals, where the Mavericks are down 3-0 against the Boston Celtics. Dallas has to win tonight at the American Airlines Center, or that fat lady is singing. Boston would love to sweep the series, despite the Mavericks being right there in the last 2 games, but coming up short. If they can survive tonight, it's back to Beantown for Game 5 that would be Monday. Lose, and the magic carpet ride is over. And since I mentioned the Aggies, their baseball team is up at the College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska, where their first game in the tournament is tomorrow night against Florida. It's your Friday afternoon sports update. I'm Steve Lamb.
Brought to you by carsforkids.org.
Carsforkids.org is the best vehicle donation charity, helping kids go from surviving to thriving. Carsforkids.org picks up vehicles in any condition for free.
Carsforkids.org. Right off the car, not the kid.
This report is sponsored by Wendy's. Order a Biggie Bag at Wendy's today. When you think of your go-to meal, what do you think of? Because if it's not the Wendy's Biggie Bag with your choice of JBC or crispy chicken sandwich plus 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink, Wendy's Biggie Bag hits every time. So stop by and grab your ride or die meal. U.S. price and participation may vary.
Your money news at the top and bottom of each hour, weekdays. Keep connected, DFW. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
Welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. It's Friday. Before we get you out of here, I know we have entertainment on the mind, so let's find out what's coming up in the movie theaters and is it any good. It's time for Ruthless Movie Reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel, and we're going to save you a little time here. We're going to tell you if the movies coming out this weekend are any good or if they're just a big steaming pile of horse apples. Welcome back to the show, Debbie.
Thank you. Great to be back.
So the two movies, there's only two movies to review this weekend, which makes it kind of easy. Inside Out 2. So the original Inside Out was the cartoon where the girl had like 4 competing personality emotions in her head. And in this one, we're introducing a new one. I've seen the commercial. That's all I know.
Correct. So I was not a huge fan of the original Inside Out. It was okay. It was kind of cute. But I think that Pixar stories and animation have kind of gone downhill. And I thought Inside Out was maybe the beginning of that. There are a few others I didn't care for. This I did not like at all. It was long, boring, repetitive, very multi-culti, kind of pandering. And just the story wasn't all that great. The story is that this same girl from Inside Out 1 is now about to be into puberty, and then she does enter puberty. And so she has a whole bunch of new emotions. They come in and they kick the old emotions out. Then the old emotions have to try and get back in, all while she is trying to make this varsity hockey team at the local high school, and is saying all kinds of stuff that embarrasses her. She embarrasses herself, but she's really striving hard to get on this hockey team and be a prodigy. It was okay. Like I said, I didn't find it to be that entertaining. And also, when I say that Pixar has gone downhill, it's not only that they've gone downhill, but they very much skimp. It used to be that at the beginning of all the Disney Pixar movies, they would have a short that was probably about 5 minutes, maybe 7 minutes.
Right.
And it was very entertaining. A lot of times I liked it as much, if not better, than the feature film. They don't have that at the beginning of this movie. And I've noticed that in their recent movies, they just don't have these anymore. So they're just very much skimping in every way, shape, and form. And I thought this movie was kind of lame. It was contrived, and it was almost like they're just, and not even almost, they are just trying to make a buck. And there was nothing in it that I thought was added to the first movie.
Well,
if you have kids and they want to see it, then it's fine for entertainment.
Okay, because look, I've been real kind of skittish about Hollywood and young teenagers going through puberty, and after watching the Nickelodeon documentary and all these other stories that you hear between the some of the Me Too stories, and I figured this could very easily fall into some woke wormhole.
No, so it does not really have that. Other than, they go out of their way to show that they're multicultural. There are a number of girls in the hockey camp and on the hockey team that have hijabs on and so on. I didn't see any Stars of David or anything, but the main character, of course, is a white blonde girl, but her friends are Asian and black and so on. I mean, they went out of their way to be multicultural. They didn't go out of their way to have a great story or anything, that's really remarkable. I kept looking at my phone to see what time it was and how long it would be before the movie ended, and that's not a good sign. And I kept looking many times.
Okay, so Inside Out 2, what do you give it on the rating scale?
I think I'm going to give it a marks. I didn't care for it.
Okay, Tammy asked me after last week's episode what the rating scale, we need to explain the rating scale. And there's not a whole lot to explain, but can I try and then you can add to it?
Absolutely. You helped create it.
Right. So like 17 years ago, Debbie was the movie critic on the show I was on Sirius, satellite radio. And when she would do movie reviews, I would put them on the website afterwards. And just so people had a little shorthand score, I would put either 1 to 4 tiny little Reagan icons next to it, or 1 to 4 Marx's, but it was just the hammer and sickle icon. And so Debbie saw me doing that, and she started adding to it. Because she wouldn't say it on the air. I would just do it for shorthand sake on the website. And then it expanded after that, because you would see a movie so bad. This is worse than 4 Marx's. This is like a 4 Marx's and a Bin Laden and a Betty Friedan. And what's the longest, worst rating a movie can get?
Well, I mean, it had Barack Obama's, Michelle Obama's, Betty Friedan's, Bin Laden's, Yasser Arafat's, and Jesse Jackson's, and Al Sharpton's. No, it had a lot.
I remember the worst rating you ever gave a movie ended with Idi Amin Dada.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. See, you remember my rating that I had it better than I do.
But it's mostly just made up, and Debbie can add in any pejorative she wants. And you're supposed to be able to get the message, right? Because if it's like a bunch of jihadi propaganda, you would probably say it gets like 10 bin Ladens or something
Right.
to that effect. So they can be adjusted and molded to the situation. But there is no hard and fast rating scale. It just started with 4 Reagans was the highest and 4 Marxes was the lowest. So we have another movie to review. It's called Treasure. We'll do it on the other side of the break. You're listening to Ruthless Movie Reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. I'm James Parker. It's The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.
The one thing we know for certain is the United States is going to be one intense place this fall.
Tucker Carlson is coming to DFW at Dickies Arena.
So we thought, what better time to hit the road and see the country? And we're going to this fall from coast to coast. We're going on a live tour with a bunch of friends of ours who you will recognize. We're going to be live on stage responding to everything that is happening in real time. It's going to be fun and interesting and a great way to spend your fall. So I hope you'll join us.
Tickets on sale now at tuckercarlson.com or win your tickets here. News Talk 820 WBAP.
And now on FM at 93.3.
You have a new baby on the way. You are overwhelmed by excitement and joy, but now you need a bigger house. How do you get the money for a bigger place, and how do you find the time to do it? A smaller agent doesn't have the marketing machine to sell fast and for maximum cash, and out-of-state instant offer companies offer you a fraction of the true value of your home. There is one local Texan who will make it easy and get you the highest price. The real estate agent I trust and recommend is Christopher Waters. Christopher Waters is the only agent who will guarantee your home sold for full market value on most homes. Just ask Lindy and John, who sold their smaller home at list price and moved into a bigger one all within 30 days. The secret is their database with thousands of hungry buyers and a powerful 194-point marketing plan used to maximize exposure to buyers. So if you need to sell fast for top dollar, reach out to Chris and his team at 214-689-6646 or go to ChristopherWaters.com. That's Christopher Waters with 2 T's.com.
Hi, I'm Henry Winkler. My eyes are very important to me. My eyes connect me with everything I love. I loved my late father-in-law dearly. He always lit up a room, but his vision dimmed with age. He had age-related macular degeneration, or AMD. And since partnering with Apellis, I've learned there's an advanced form of dry AMD called geographic atrophy, or GA. His struggle with vision loss made me want to help others know about GA's warning signs. For some, colors appear dull or washed out. For others, hazy or blurred vision make it hard to see details, like fine print on price tags. Many have trouble seeing in the dark, making driving at night difficult. GA gets worse over time and cannot be reversed. If you think you have GA, don't wait. Treatments are available. Ask a retina specialist about FDA-approved treatments for GA and go to GAWon'tWait.com.
Will your retirement dream survive the next market crash? Do you have a plan for a potential 30, 40, or even 50% fall? Imagine the sacrifices you may have to make. Would you be forced to unretire? Hi, I'm Ken Murray, founder and CEO of Retirement Planners of America, here to invite you to one of our free retirement planning seminars. We'll explain our invest and protect strategy and how it is designed to protect you from the next bear market. We want your money to last as long as you do. We'll also discuss Social Security, Medicare, retirement cash flow, and more. Don't miss out on this free opportunity to expand your retirement knowledge. Sign up for a seminar today.
Call now, 469-331-2426. That's 469-331-2426.
Retirement Planners of America, RPOA.com.
This is Rob Wilhite, founder of the Wilhite Law Firm. I'm a Texan at heart, born and raised in the Lone Star State. And when a fellow Texan is seriously hurt in a car crash or truck wreck, I take it to heart. If you've been injured in an accident, you want a law firm who wins Texas-sized settlements. Our firm stands up to insurance companies who want to keep the settlements down. Get your free case review at WilhiteWins.com. That's WilhiteWins.com. WilhiteWins.com. Don't delay. Click today.
Prior results do not guarantee similar outcome.
Lose weight and look great this summer with semaglutide from Red Mountain Weight Loss. You know, semaglutide is the main ingredient in Ozempic, and it can help you lose up to 15 pounds a month without a starvation diet. Well, Red Mountain has its own semaglutide in pill form, and it's about half the price of Ozempic, and no shots either. It's called Revelex. So let's get started today with Red Mountain's flexible weight loss menu, great counseling, and Revelex. Just visit redmountainweightloss.com or dial pound 250 and say Red Mountain Weight Loss.
In Plano, 121 northbound at Legacy, that right lane still blocked off. Also got the wreck in Allen, 75 on the southbound side of Ridgemont. HOV and left lanes are taken away. Slow, they're back to Exchange Parkway. New one in Carrollton, I-35 east southbound at Sandy Lake. It looks like that one's taken away, that right lane. In Grapevine, 121 southbound at Glade Road, the off-ramp still blocked for a crash. And in Weatherford, I-20 eastbound is shut down at Main Street for a wreck. That 20-minute backup to Old Dennis Road. From WBAP's First Traffic, I'm Monty Cook.
Brought to you by the law offices of Thomas J. Henry.
An accident with a company car, truck, SUV, van, or fleet vehicle is not just another car accident. Thomas J. Henry handles serious company vehicle accident cases and gets serious results for injured clients. Visit tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
From the Airco AC Heating and Plumbing Studio, this is News Talk 820 WBAP, and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey there, welcome to the James Show, News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. We're in the middle of Ruthless Movie Reviews with the great Debbie Schlussel. Debbie, we already reviewed Inside Out 2. The other movie for this weekend, the new one out there, is called Treasure, and this isn't ringing a bell. I'm not even sure if I've seen a commercial for this. What is Treasure?
So this is a smaller budget movie, and I am now on your side that there are too many Holocaust movies. And I say this as somebody who is interested in this. I come from a family of Holocaust survivors. But
there's a Nazi in this movie?
There are no Nazis in the movie, though. So what it is Lena Dunham, though. So she is the main star of this movie. That was perfect. So she is the star of this movie. She plays this music teacher, music journalist who goes back to Poland, where her father came from. He's a Holocaust survivor. She brings him. This takes place in the 90s. They go back to see where he grew up, the apartment he was in, and they see that the people who took over the apartment have all his belongings, his family's belongings. They go to Auschwitz, where he didn't want to go, where he survived the death camp. I don't know. Something was missing from this movie. I just thought it was kind of like boring and slow, and I felt like I didn't get anything out of it for watching it, and I could really have done without this movie. It could have been a lot better. Just my family, like I said, comes from this history and this kind of heritage, and I would have liked to have seen something better. And Lena Dunham, just, yuck. She's not a great actress. And somehow she's inveigled her way into Hollywood through connections and her family members. And I just did not care for this movie. When it ended, I thought, is that all there is?
I'm sorry, I just had a clip from the movie. This was Lena Dunham's character in the movie, I think. Did you remember that part? Does that ring a bell?
No, but, I mean, she has gotten really big. And I didn't even recognize her in this movie. When I watched it at first, I thought, like, who is this? And then I looked it up, and it was her, and I thought, oh, my God, yikes.
Yeah, not to make fun of people who put on weight, but you're not supposed to be that big in your 20s. Like, I've really softened up on my stance on that. Like, if you're big and you're like
38. She's 38.
Oh, okay. Oh, God.
But still.
I guess I'm old. But look, like, if you're big and you're 60, you gain 2 pounds a year for the last 30 years. But she got big in like her 20s, and those are people who just aren't trying.
That, and also she's got a lot of money. She's had development deals with HBO and with a lot of other, media studio.
Do you know her connections?
Outlets.
Isn't like her daddy somebody?
Her dad is a big time artist, and her mother is something also. They've got connections. She didn't get here through sheer talent. She's a nepo baby, like a lot of Hollywood these days. And that's how she got there. And she's got a lot of money. Her family's very wealthy. and she can afford a trainer or chef if she wanted one. I don't think she wants one.
They're right.
And,
There's
and
no
if you and I
no
had that
excuse.
kind of money,
No
Right.
effort. Right. I'd look like an Olympian by now. Or that's what I like to think, of course. Now, let's put an end to the ruthless movie reviews and let's tap into Debbie's political brain here, because I have I don't want to say I'm entertained by this Russia and Cuba situation, but I like comparing it to the Cuban Missile Crisis. We had a big old fat freak out when there were a handful of Russian missiles in Cuba under JFK, but now there's even more missiles, even closer under Putin, and the media doesn't seem to care.
Yeah, to me, I think they're focused on the wrong things. I think that is a terrible threat. And obviously, America's military does, or we wouldn't have had a submarine that was seen off the coast of Gitmo. There is a reason. And I think, this is a national security story that should be as big as, remember that balloon flying over America that Joe Biden refused to shoot down? This is very similar to that.
Well,
and I don't understand it.
That balloon doesn't have a few dozen missiles on it, so I think this is way worse. And you know what? Maybe this isn't way worse. Maybe we really overreacted about the Cuban Missile Crisis. Whoop-de-doo if they have a few missiles in Cuba pointed at us, because we've had missiles in like Poland and Ukraine and Turkey and everywhere else pointed at Russia. And not to make an equivalency here, but that's not necessarily the end of the world if the other hyperpower has missiles, adjacent.
Well, we would like to dominate them in terms of that category, number one. And number two, while we had missiles in those places, we were protecting those democratic countries that were trying to stay democratic or who had left the hegemony of the Soviet Union at that time. And, we always have an interest in protecting those areas because it benefits us. This is on our hemisphere. To me, like you said, it's a bigger story. I think it's something that should be on the news, but it's not sexy. It doesn't have a Kardashian or Kanye in it. It's not Real Housewives. There's no makeovers being done. It's not a balloon, so it's not comical. And that's unfortunate, but that's what drives the news, unfortunately.
All right. Thank you very much. There's Debbie Schlussel. You can find her online. Debbie Schlussel is not the most common name in the world, so if you search for it, it pops right up. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Thank you. Have a great weekend.
Right. And this is going to do it for the James Show. Listen, we got a couple days where you and I aren't going to be able to have these live conversations like we're used to, but you can still get your James Show fix with the podcast. I go out and I cut these things up and I put them online. Someone needs to go listen to these, so I'm not doing all that work for nothing, right? So go check it out, WBAP.com or the WBAP app. Go find me on social media, follow, like, subscribe, whatever it says, and then hit like on my post, share my post, tell someone about the James Show. Just help a brother out. I got 4 kids. This has been the James Show. I'm James Parker.